Alrighty. Let's do this. All right. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 306. This is the beautiful genius of Steven Universe, and usually not a series of adjectives you would associate with Steven Universe, but this YouTuber seems to think so. And the YouTuber in question is Nerdstalgic, and this video he made, or they made, came out in June of this year, so just 2 days ago. And it's got about 36,000 views. And this is, of course, from a channel that is over 830,000 subs. So obviously it takes a while for people to watch these things. And
I noticed the call was there. Discord put a streamer mode on, and that makes the call silent.
The call was silent. Okay, well, anyway, it's a Nerdstalgic video. I don't know anything about these guys. I've never watched them. I haven't even read their bio. They're just big. That's good enough for me. And I'm sure you guys can share your 2 cents. I think, Eric, you saw a bit of the video already, so you know a little bit what's going on.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
He's going to make some weird comparisons. Very interested to hear what you guys think, but I don't really agree with those comparisons.
Luckily, it's only 8 minutes, so it shouldn't be that hard unless he makes some really silly ideas, and that tends to be the case.
Yeah.
So, this might take 2 hours, might take 40 minutes. We never know. I do know I don't care much for the show. I'm not interested in watching it. All the things we've seen about it so far seem pretty lame. The art style is not very good. The color palette's not very good. The animation's not really that attractive. It changes every episode, it seems. So, not for me.
Well, but you got to think about how it makes you feel.
Yeah, like I don't want to watch it. It's pretty much... It's like, this is boring. This doesn't look good. It's drawn. Looks like crap, so no. But apparently, it's the work of genius. It's not just genius. It's beautiful. It's just this, this subsidy of, the subsidiary of genius that is so hard to find in pop media.
Yeah.
That it's
kids cartoon.
Yeah. I know. I cannot think of The Matrix being this work of genius. It was pretty good. Really nice camera work, really great special effects, cool concepts, but nothing really earth-shattering. It's cool to watch the first few times. You're like, oh, it's The Matrix. Yeah, cool, fun to watch. Camera work with that crazy spinny camera. That one scene was great, or a few scenes actually. But great CGI in Jurassic Park. The ideas of science fiction have had these concepts for decades, if not centuries. So it's cool to see it in a slick movie, but that was it. And then you see the sequel, it's crap. Movie after that, it's even worse. So, it's like, it's a one-time thing. That's great, one-time thing. So I don't think The Matrix is a work of genius. I don't think Steven Universe is a work of genius. I can't really think of some books I would consider genius because they've never been told before. Like the ideas found in the stories have never been shown before. Like The Demolished Man by Alfred Bester. That is the one of several science fiction books everyone should read for science fiction. So, but cartoons, no, don't watch Steven Universe. There's nothing to watch. There's nothing to see. I don't get it.
For a demographic of 20-year-olds.
Whatever the case may be, whoever this is for, to think it's a work of genius means you have to compare it to other works of the same media and the same genres, I imagine. And I can't...
All animation, right?
What do you compare Steven Universe to in terms of animation or cartoons? I can't... South Park?
South Park, Simpsons.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Family Guy.
You can't really do it. It just doesn't compare. There's nothing... It's like someone making a pineapple steak flavored donut. You're like, oh, that's unique. I've never heard of that. I don't want to eat that, and I can't compare it to anything else. It's its own little unicorn. You're like, okay, great.
Sure.
I have no basis for comparison or criteria. It's just a thing. So, Couldn't tell you. Anyway, this is 8 minutes. Won't take us too long. We'll see how much Wisp flips out again. Hopefully, it's not going to be too bad. We never know with Wisp. So anyway, let's get going.
In this episode of Steven Universe, something remarkable happens. Especially for an animated children's show. This episode, Monster Buddies, Steven and his friends have captured a hideous monster, but through a series of mishaps.
Steven, you can't just...
Steven sets it free. And this is a really gross and kind of disgusting creature. It has this nasty little beak and it literally drools acid. On paper, there is nothing redeemable about this thing, superficially especially.
Okay, so Steven essentially takes home a horrifically dangerous pet, which starts destroying property and can kill people.
Yep.
But it has a kind soul, as we later learn. This is not in any way a special episode. And hello, everyone. Sorry, I was a bit...
Hey, Wisp.
Hello, and it makes me feel ugh. And the question too, is this a work of genius? Is it a question of how? Because not in ways of animation or quality or writing. So what aspect of it? Because sometimes there are works of art in the world that are shit in many ways, but have this one really redeeming thing. And some people may even say that Tarantino movies are crap because they're completely overdone and have these weird dialogues, but he makes them work. When other people try the same thing, they completely fail because you have to do it in a very, 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 very special way where you understand exactly what you're doing. Maybe there's someone out there who could make the topics that Steven Universe uses, whether you want to call them themes, whether you want to call it setting, story, whatever,
Right.
can make that work and can make something good out of it. But Rebecca Sugar and her team are not that. They are not the Tarantinos of Steven Universe. They are the copycats of it.
That's one thing I wanted to ask you. Can you think of any kind of media, it doesn't matter if it's cartoons or whatever, you could compare Steven Universe to? That would say, oh yeah, this is just like, or something like this. And say, okay, now
only
we can...
other things in the CalArts realm, and that is even they're not.
Yeah.
Even not the other CalArts things.
I was going to say She-Ra, but that's like not even. It's She-Ra's trying to have a...
The Powerpuff
You can
Girls.
attest that all these CalArts cartoons at least do their very own thing. You can't really compare them to each other except that their style, that they use a similar style, and that most of them have horrendous quality issues in every regard.
Right.
I'd say the only exceptions are Gravity Falls and, to a degree, Gumball. Because Gumball is something that does subversion, right, and in every aspect. And it doesn't just do the CalArts thing, it does almost every animation trick and style you can think of. Like every character in that show is made with a different animation style.
Mm-hmm.
Gumball is the CalArts cartoon, and his as is his family, which is a mix of The Simpsons and Family Guy, if you want to really generalize that. Then there's several 3D animated characters. One looks like stop motion, the other is at 2 frames, the other is at normal frame rate. This is very, you see this in the same scene. Like one CGI character has normal animation, and the other one is looks like animated from Spider-Verse that uses just 2 frames per second. And was it 3? I think it was 2. Then you have something looks like claymation, and you have the character that is just a head, someone's head turned upside down, and a little eyes, googly eyes put on the chin, and a dress. So and then the mouth. So when the mouth moves, when the actor actually speaks, it looks like a really weird doll. And all these different styles in that one show. And that gives it a special character. And sorry for going off tangent, but
that sounds like
Oh, it's good to know.
some sort of modern art conglomerate of stuff that they slammed together and called a show. and they're just
Yeah, but it's. I thought give. I'd say give the first season a couple episodes a shot. It's surprising that they do make it work, and they even do some genre jokes in that. Here's a spoiler. One of the villains of that first season is just an annoying guy, and his design is really horrible. And later on, in a later season, they come across issues with their reality. Like, this character was just written out of the show, just like as if forgotten. And later on, Gumball notices as he walks down the street with his adopted brother, that there's a fold in the street, like a paper fold, as if a house has been taken out, and that is the house of that character because he was written out, and that character is trying to come back out of the space of discarded characters back into the show, and it's like this. It does a lot of meta stuff, and that is what makes Gumball appealing, and the humor does work in it.
It even had one episode where they basically did an anime ripoff, especially like in the art style, and I think the story was pretty cool.
I only watched until season 3, I think. Then I kind of lost contact.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how much that's out yet. It was around that time. It was after I stopped watching. There was a special an episode where Gumball mastered the powers of the social justice warrior, and then used all the guilt trips against everyone to gain power over them. It was surprisingly on the nose, and did show actually how evil that is.
all right.
Oh, nice.
Because Gumball learns from it. That was wrong. I'm sorry.
Well, compared to, let's say, Steven Universe,
Power is too much.
which is a unicorn by itself, there's nothing really we could compare it with.
Mm-hmm.
And the best we can do is visuals, but that's about it with the studio. So when you say something is genius, I usually think of like the light bulb or inventions or stuff like that, but this is not an invention. This is artwork. This is storytelling. So it shouldn't be hard to figure out a theme or a plot or an idea or a mode or a message that these creators are going for. And I'm sure we can figure it out.
Genius in a cartoon, then we have several I don't want to say basic, but the most blatant aspects of it are the writing and the animation. And everything else is secondary. Those are the two that stand out.
Yeah.
Either you succeed by writing, or you have such astounding animation that the writing behind it can be absolutely flat or even non-existent. Like there is as I've noted a couple times that in the 80s and 90s there were many Western nations. So I have to include Canada for that. That were commissioning cartoons from Japan that were also drawn and animated in Japan. So technically, it's animated, commissioned by Europe and Canada, and maybe there was one by Australia. I'm not sure. But currently there is, I think it's Georgia or Oregon, and they commissioned from Japan an advertisement for their state. That is you can find it under the name, and I made 2 or 3 at this point. Slightly exaggerated, I think. I think it was slightly exaggerated, and it is absolutely stunning animation. Like, it's just an advertisement for the state, but it's anime and Ghibli fantasy blown out of proportion times 20. It's absolutely beautiful. There's no story behind it. It's just absolutely beautiful. That I would say you can consider that as definitely a piece of art. If you want to consider it a piece of genius, I don't know. It certainly stunned me.
See what that
Then
sounds
you have
like.
the other side of it, where you have to excel by story, and
Yeah,
the animation is that important.
That suddenly made me think of the animation quality of Ghost in the Shell Innocence movie, where the story is lacking. The story is not pandering. It's sort of plodding along, trying to do. Oh, we're looking for the major, yada yada. While this kaleidoscope of artwork and animation just hits you, and it's this experience like, wow, I just watched Innocence. What was that? And you're not sure, but it was a hell of a ride. So, if you want to think of Steven Universe with that only in regards to theming and the ideas, because you haven't seen these in cartoons before, you could say, all right, yeah, we could argue that. The question then becomes, was the theme expressed well? Was the storytelling done properly? And when you see all these slapstick humors of him running around with a monster that couldn't kill, and you're like, oh, this is a parody, like this is a comical cartoon where you're not supposed to be taking things seriously, but you have these adult, mature themes. So it's a little difficult for me to wrap my brain around when you have a modern interpretation of lifestyle and slapstick comedy of cartoon style with violence and what have you. It just doesn't, those two things don't match up very well to me. I could be wrong because I haven't watched the show, but from what I've seen, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the writing doesn't make sense, and the animation doesn't stand out either. It's just, and the thing that stands out about the animation is rather the style of background and the way they use lighting or overuse it, if you will. That is more the style of what the show looks in general, and that is mainly the backgrounds. The characters themselves, not so much.
Okay.
I remembered a good example of I'd say brilliant writing, but and forgot I wanted to watch that with you anyway. That is I don't know what you call this. It's an anthology film maybe.
Okay.
That Memories by Otomo Katsuhiro, who was leading the project. Memories consists of 3 short movies that are all completely different in animation style and in looks, in style in general. All have completely different stories, and they're not connected except by one thing, and that is the theme of memories. And that is not just memories as memories, but how you can apply the idea of memories, because every movie even interprets how to use the word, how to incorporate it in the story, and without naming it, into its story. So that if you wouldn't know that it is called Memories, you could figure it out that is the connection between these 3. Otherwise, you would, if these were completely standalone things, you might not ever bring them together. And that, I'd say, is something that is very high up there in regards of writing. And the animation is still good.
All right. Sounds like a very studio making piece. Like they wanted to produce that because it was a passion project. It wasn't like a money making project. It wasn't made for public consumption. It was, I wanted to make a piece of art.
It sounds like an art experiment that went really well.
Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, maybe we'll watch that. That'd be great. Let's get going here with the video.
That's why I don't want to spoil it.
Okay, all
sorry.
right. That's fine. Alexander Welch, SJW's every SJW can be your friend, even the evil ones. I think that's what you're trying to say. Okay. They all want to be my friend?
I think that like a double point. I forgot what you call that. Yeah, that should be in quotation marks. Like, it's what the SJW say. Everyone can be your friend, even the evil ones. Except it's a Nazi.
Oh. Thanks, SJWs. It's great. Anyway, Joe Crazy. Hey, Joe. Sugar is a terrible showrunner. She tries too hard to be the cool boss instead of keeping track of quality control. And I'm assuming that's like a product or service they're providing to people at the job. So
I think that's like the, hey, are you all right? How was the festival you were going to? Oh, you need 2 weeks off for to go to that drug festival. All right, here, have your time off. We'll just tell the Korean sweatshop animators to figure it out by themselves.
Oh yeah.
You do you.
Oh God.
All right. Also, here's your paycheck.
Jeez. Great benefits package. Just talk to the owner. I got to do a thing. Sorry, I got to go. Yeah, 2 weeks. Here's Strawman. This cartoon for kids has more rape than a hentai. What do you? Wait a second. What do you? Whoa, slow down here.
There are certain
Steven
things in it that you can interpret that way, but it's veiled behind childish innocence. But essentially, most things in regards to the what was it called, the fusion dance stuff.
You're right.
Some of those
Okay.
seem quite forced. They can be forced on others apparently, and since the way they do their fusion dances in Steven Universe that look so blatantly obviously sexual, that and when one character especially talks about feeling violated by being tricked into a fusion with another character who just really wanted to do a fusion with her because she adores her so much. Yeah, that kind of sounds like a parallel to a rape story, when you take all of the details into account.
We do
So
have
for people who always want to talk about context and themes,
Yeah.
yep, that's the theme.
we do have these concepts of two bodies or entities fusing into one. At least in anime, we have Dragon Ball. Was it Super? They did that. Were they
In Dragon Ball, it started in Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z? Okay. Yeah, no, they have these concepts done before. So, and they weren't exactly sexual. They were pretty much
Remind me
Yeah,
again
they did
how,
they had to do the
how they fuse.
the choreography. What's it called? The mirror dance thing, and they all found it silly anyway. Why do we really have to do it like this? This is stupid. So there was some self-awareness there. But the Steven Universe fusions, look at the scenes. You can probably find compilations of those online on YouTube. They're sexual. There's spread legs, moving your hips, and the other
boy.
character is jumping like as if into a swimming pool into her crotch. If you want to tell me that's not a sexual move
oh,
or implication,
wonderful.
I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
It's just wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay, here's Mike Testa, then we'll get going. Steven is about as genius as a brain-dead donkey. Oh. All right.
Donkey from Shrek.
Donkey? Yeah. Anyway,
Hey, no insults to Eddie Murphy.
yeah, no. Let's go.
But now, where most characters in a superhero action show would find a way to fight this thing and win the day by punching it into the sun, Steven doesn't. He wants to be its friend. He wants to know where it's coming from. Imagine if an alien, Ellen Ripley, tried to get to know the xenomorph.
Yeah, but the xenomorph has an
Which is
inherently
actually
bad
the plot of Alien
disposition.
Resurrection, but you get the point. And here it's all because Steven possesses a power that's unique in superheroes: empathy.
Bullshit.
Okay, how's that
Steven
unique?
does not have empathy. He just feels sorry for everyone. That's not empathy. Empathy means you can see the world from someone else's perspective. You can mistake that here, but Steven is also absolutely naive.
I think that's
I
the
don't
point.
think anyone in the show, I don't think anyone in this show has actual empathy.
I think that's the
because
point.
the writers don't have any.
The Steven character, from what I can see, is a child, so he's learning things, and the fact that he's innocent or ignorant, for that matter, is kind of the point. I would say most kids, to that regard, care about the world because they don't know any better.
Yeah. Oh, look, what a cute
But
alligator baby.
how's
Let's
that
bring it
unique,
home.
though?
Yeah,
I
to a
mean,
degree that works.
go look at Captain Marvel from DC, of course. I mean, that's a kid, right?
Right. He
Has
sees the world.
superpowers. He transformed into an adult, but he still sees the world as a kid.
Right. He's still innocent and acts like a kid and that sort of thing. So you expect that
Yeah,
behavior.
that's not unique. I don't think so.
In this case, it's funny because, well, it's supposed to be funny because he's so ignorant of this acid spewing alien that's destroying property.
Yeah, it's the so the idea is funny in a way because it's so over the top.
Right.
Befriending a dangerous animal is something we've seen in human history in storytelling forever. The
Yeah.
thing about what makes this odd is that this creature is dripping acid, highly corrosive acid, from its mouth constantly. And Steven's just walking around it and here, scratching beneath its maw. Yeah, but
Is
just
it
by
supposed to be
accident,
funny?
just by sheer accident, how the biology of this creature works, Steven's arm should be melting away.
Is it supposed to be funny though, or what's the
That's
context for this?
because it's so
this pet?
it's supposed to be funny because it's so extreme.
Yeah, I've been playing Pathfinder
Okay.
Kingmaker,
I mean-
and there's a scene where you come across some kobolds, and it happens, I think, at least 6 or 7 times now, where they're trying to tame monsters. And kobolds are really tiny creatures, like really, really small, like not gnomes, but they're around the same size.
They're draconids.
Yeah, they're really tiny and they're really stupid. They're just sort of like crazy little swarming monsters, essentially. And they're trying to charm these giant owl bears and hydras. And every single scene, they say, time to get some din-din, time to whatever. And the monsters eat them. Like every single scene. It becomes an ongoing joke. Every time you come across some kobolds, they're going to get eaten. So it's like, oh, all right. It's kind of goofy because that's the ongoing joke. And every time the game designer decides to have a scenario where you have to get out of, you're trapped, or there's some kobolds, they're going to try and, because they're easy to kill, but if they can tame a giant monster, like, oh, an owlbear, that's pretty hard to kill. But then the owlbear runs amok and just starts attacking everything. So that's the game with kobolds.
There were a lot of fan made, and now there are even some official campaigns for playing a group of goblins, and I think kobolds as well. Personally, I find kobolds funnier.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's actual official content for playing a group of goblins.
Yeah.
With a campaign.
You're pretty much a crazy animal with limited intelligence running around.
Yeah. They're doing stupid shit.
Exactly. So
And kobolds are very inventive. So they there's in old D&D kobolds tinker a lot, and they design a lot of strange contraptions that often backfire, like kobold catapults to artillery attack you with kobolds, with other kobolds, and things like that. This kobold stuff is fun.
yeah. Okay. Here's Francis Board Coppola for the donation. Thank you. They use the rounded CalArt style to save on budget. As cringe as that is, they also overuse pastel and neon lighting, so they don't have to draw shadows. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Actually, they barely knew the characters on model as it is. You know what? When you think about it, if they're using all these bright lights and they're not concerned about dimension and shadow and form or figure rather, yeah, who cares? It's just all this bright, colorful stuff in front of the camera or in front of the TV.
They don't even have they never made consistent character sheets. That's why for 20 episodes, in every other episode the characters look different.
Yeah.
Different proportions, slightly different style even. I said before that in one episode he looks like this, in another he looks even taller, in another he's fatter, in another he looks like Dexter from Dexter's Lab. Yeah. It's all over the place.
Yeah, just that.
And that is not an artistic choice. That is the product of laziness. When it's artistic choice, there's usually something done with the style for a purpose. Like if you go for the Dexter's Lab style, for example, and you do a parody of Dexter's Lab ideas in that episode. Okay, we pay homage to something. Okay, but that's not what's happening here. This is just random crap.
That's one of the major concepts of design work is that you want consistency in not only your world, but in how your characters behave. So maybe they have the idea of Steven and his family, character-wise, behaving a certain way, but not visually, not physically, because they want freedom to do whatever they want and jump around and phase through walls and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I think that might be part of the overall idea of the show. I could be wrong, because
I don't know, the family. When it came out and I first watched it, I genuinely thought, this looks interesting, because it's a completely new way to go at something.
Right.
The whole setup of the family is odd. It was not yet clear where his father is, probably maybe missing or something. His mother's missing, so he looks like an orphan. In the beginning, you don't know his father is actually in the same town, living in a van, running a car wash. You don't know that in the beginning. So it still looks okay from the setup. So yeah, there's these 3 alien moms who take care of him. And over time, it becomes clear that all these 3 women, seemingly women, have mental issues.
How so?
Pearl is the stuck up, super strict librarian ballet teacher that you don't want her as a teacher, because she's the teacher who is so stuck up with herself. If she could never bend, she would only break because of the stick up her ass, and so she's belittling all the time and putting up super strict rules that everyone has to follow. So yeah, that is someone going into an extreme, something that might be something to overcome at some point. Grow doesn't happen, or at least not in any relevant capacity. Then you have Amethyst, the stunted fat girl who is the embodiment of borderline personality disorder. So she is incapable of responsible behavior. She is incapable of taking care of herself. She literally lives in a dump that looks like a hoarder had diarrhea.
God.
And that character is never going to come across anything because she doesn't give a shit. And then you have Garnet, which is strange for several reasons, but mainly seems to be the most mature of them all. But that is solely because she just stands there in a stoic manner and says a couple lines that make the most sense in the room.
Oh, okay.
That's
Weird dynamic.
that's essentially all. But she is essentially too aloof and uncaring to realize what's going on before it's too late.
She's supposed to be like 2 people, right? The 2 gems or something.
Yeah, she's 2 little gems. That's Ruby and Sapphire, and so Garnet is a permanent fusion of the 2 because they love each other so much, and the permanent fusion of them is basically the 2 being so at peace because they're with each other that Garnet is just standing there and enjoying existence.
Okay.
So it comes across as if Garnet is a bit detached from reality.
That is not
in a delusional way, just in a constantly meditative way.
That does not sound like a healthy relationship, even when you're under the idea of melding your bodies and minds together. It does not sound like a good idea. That's anyway.
Well, it's constant bliss. Garnet it's internally in constant
But they
bliss.
can be normal too.
Oh God.
Yeah, but anyway, this is not the environment for an orphan.
No,
Absolutely not.
this is not
Absolutely
a lesson
not.
you want to teach children about relationships. That's not a good analogy. To be the same person. That's not what relationships are. Anyway, let's keep going. Here's Vladimir Dragonov. I bet a baby Deathclaw looks cute, but it's still a Deathclaw. You know, if you actually play New Vegas or any other games with Deathclaws, and they actually have the baby Deathclaws. All they do is take the actual Deathclaw model and just scale it down. So it looks exactly the
That
same.
is what they did.
Yeah. They didn't model a new Deathclaw the way a baby should look. They just scaled it all the way down. It's like this miniature looking Deathclaw running around.
Somehow it can still kill 3 people. I'm amazed.
Yeah.
I hate those baby Deathclaws.
Anyway, TLDR of what I just said, or what I wanted to say with that is, the very setup from zero, before knowing anything else about the show, looks interesting. Like you can do something very interesting with that.
Oh yeah, sure.
But the show doesn't at all. It was a completely accidental setup, and the characters are probably projections of certain members or friends of the people who made it. And that's why they don't go anywhere. They can't properly develop into real people because the people who make this aren't really real adults. You can't expect a someone emotionally immature to write someone going through an emotional journey with epiphanies growing into maturity, because that person doesn't know how that works yet.
Yeah. All right, here
So
is.
they even had a gay wedding, right?
Really?
I remember people were like hyping it up and all that.
I couldn't tell you. Anyway.
Is that true? I mean, I don't know. I can't remember.
A gay wedding? What?
On the show, possibly. I
what
wouldn't put it past these guys to do something like that, but that's fine.
So I stopped watching at some point. I haven't seen everything of this.
Here's Mike Testa. Remember when Steven raped his dad in the movie? Oh, God. I super chatted something similar to this, and Jay on EFAP, he refused an answer. He couldn't take the truth. Well, EFAP, they don't read out super chats. Mike, I hope you didn't lose an entire fortune.
EFAP does read out super chats, but it's usually after the cast is gone and only Mauler is there.
Yeah, he has independent vids just covering the catch-ups of all the super chats. So,
yeah.
But Mike,
and the people who the chats are addressed to aren't there anymore.
Yeah. So Mike, don't drop a whole bunch of money on EFAP because they don't read them unless you wait. So.
And then probably don't get a useful answer.
Yeah.
I doubt Jay would have answered anyway, because he never responded to the stuff I wrote him on Discord before as well about trans stuff when he started talking about that.
Wait a second. Does Jay actually like the show? Does he know the show? Is that the point? That why you ask him stuff?
I don't remember. I think Jay liked it, but I don't exactly remember. And I haven't watched Jay's stuff in over a year.
Okay.
And I haven't really watched a lot of the stuff on his own channel. Mainly only what was covered on EFAB, then a few exceptional things that were linked to me. But Jay doesn't really know anything. Jay talks about trans stuff, but he doesn't know anything about it. He is essentially in that regard, full of SJW crap. And Jay Longbone called him out on it once on Twitter. She brought up the suicide stats, and all Jay did was insult her for, hey, how would you feel for calling you fat on Twitter and making obesity jokes, and which was really pathetic on Jay's part, because later Jay admitted that he actually had never heard of the suicide stats and that is a real thing and not just a meme.
Oh, geez.
And how can you? And he's going this whole. I don't know whether he's fooling around with that, but lots of the people who fall for the transgender trend, they don't know anything about this shit.
I don't understand.
Jay seems to be that kind, and just from that situation, I can tell if he ever goes further than what he's fooling around right now on EFAB and on his own channel and on Twitter. He's gonna have a very rude awakening because he knows nothing.
Well, we all have seen this trend of men dressing up as women, and we've covered a bunch of those on here as well. I don't want to get into this topic because it's not why we're here, but I'm sure.
I just wanted it to be said because he also closed his DMs, and I wanted to, after this thing, I wanted to talk to him. I don't have a Twitter. I will not get a Twitter. Recently made a Minds account. That's all, because I thought, but that was, then I realized, oh, this platform is dead already. Oh well.
Yeah.
No, nothing lost. I don't want to get into social media anyway. I just wanted to contact someone.
It is a disconcerting topic, though, to see all these guys and girls wanting to transition and not even understanding.
They don't know what they're doing, and that's why I want to talk at least the little bit I can afford. Mentally to share that you are making huge mistakes. You don't know what you're doing. You're mutilating yourselves. You don't have gender dysphoria. You're being told crap.
Right, and that's as far as we want to go, because I'm sure we're going to have other topics in the world of Steven Universe that bring up crap like this. So
Steven Universe brings up SJW trans crap.
yeah,
That is the problem.
yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going.
Yikes.
Here's Noble Commando. People need to learn the difference between empathy and sympathy. All right. This drives me crazy that people don't understand the difference. It all depends on what the argument is. Like, you're not sympathetic towards this character on screen. You can't empathize with them. You can't understand them. There's a difference between thoughts and emotions. And who's the critic? Who's the person saying you can't do X with this character? That's what you have to understand before you throw around words that you've never used before or they've never used before. It's really a question of drama. Can you care about a story and the characters in it? If you can, that means the writer allows you to and gives you the avenue, no matter what your emotional reality is. So you could be a child and still go, oh, this kid lost his dad. That would make me sad. I can understand that. Or this kid lost a kingdom and all the future possibilities that came with it. So there's a basic element, a lower element that has to deal with human behavior or human nature, if you want to go that far, which I don't like going that far because it's kind of a basic basal thing where, you know, your puppy dies, like everyone should understand what that means or how that should feel. Or losing
Unless if you're a psycho.
Unless you're a psychopath, and you won't feel a thing. Or losing some futuristic space station that caused the deaths of tens of thousands of people. Like, that's something a bit bigger. So can you empathize with these concepts? Can you sympathize with the characters going through these states of being? So there's a bit bigger of scale and how it deals with either emotion or thoughts and what their plight actually is. So yeah, get to know the words, guys. Not hard. Here's a donation from Louis. Seems gay. Cool name. So basically, the thing about Steven trying to befriend the monster villain thing, Naruto did it years ago. Okay, I see where you're going with that. I'd argue they did it better because Naruto, once he realized that person wasn't going to be reasoned with, he fought them. Oh, you're talking about a person. I thought you meant the monster inside him. Okay, interesting. I think you're referring to Sasuke at that point with Naruto. I could be wrong. But the resolution becomes the same thing, where you're actually addressing a person and their plot and what they want to do, which is antithetical or against yours. And Naruto has to deal with this concept of wanting to be, because he really wants to be part of the community, and his friend of his or his rival really doesn't want to be part of the community, even though they were companions for so long. So that could really hurt Naruto as a person, because that's what is most important to him. Whereas Sasuke just wants revenge, and in order to do that, he has to break all his bonds, and even the technique he needs to learn to become stronger involves killing Naruto, which is interesting in its own right, but obviously a writing thing. So, yes, I think I thought you were going to go with the QB plot line, not the Sasuke arc. Anyway, fine, cool. Mike Testa, hey, remember the episode where Steven Universe wasn't being Steven Universe?
Oh.
Nope.
Okay.
Can't say I watched it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe past the stuff I watched. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Steve, Mike, if you are making a joke, say so, but please tell us the name of the episode. That'd be great. Wait, that's every episode where they do anything. So that implies Steven Universe doesn't know what it's doing? It's just randomly doing shit?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Sure.
That's a horrible idea for a show. Unless it's like Seinfeld, but then it's innately for laughs. If you're doing things for the laughs or the lols, then it's okay. That's the point. You're supposed to
Yes.
go along with it because it's a comedy show. But if Steven Universe has all the themes and trying to tell you the stories,
Steven Universe?
Yeah.
It's not a comedy?
I don't know. I think they're trying to use comedy as a shoehorn for other things, and it doesn't quite work because we're not that stupid.
No, I don't think.
Anyway, Mike Test again. Else, instead of being the damn show they advertised, you know what? Every time I see an or I have seen advertisements in the past, I was like, this is weird. I have no idea what this is, and I don't care. So it's always been this weird thing. When I was getting an advertisement on YouTube, I'm like, what the? Not gonna watch that. I watch anime. Anyway, Fritz, thanks for the donation, Fritz. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Pearl's a neurotic narcissist, Amethyst a fat slob with authority issues, and Garnet spends so much time looking into the future that she can't focus on what's happening to Steven in the present. That sounds like a...
Yeah, that's a good. That's well put together.
I mean, that could work as a decent drama of characters and family life, but, you know, as a cartoon, probably not.
Why he needs to get away from these people.
Well, it's allegedly a cartoon for children.
Really?
All these characters should have blatantly obvious arcs where they overcome those drawbacks. But that's not really what's happening. They retain those core problems, those core issues.
I guess kids like that shit. I don't know.
Well, shitty kids like that because they see, oh, this shitty person is a hero. I can be shit like that. Hey, let's
wow.
Any impressionable kids like, oh, let's act like the shitty character on screen because that's the good guy. So act like that.
The writer
Bullying ended.
The writer made an anti-hero. Oh, it's brilliant. I've never seen this before. I've never watched one episode of the Batman animated series or anything else with comic books. Nothing. It's never been done. Okay.
Yeah, but I think the Batman animated series has its place and it shows a serious tone, and Batman is Batman. But with this, I would say, if you do happy-looking stuff like this, and your alleged audience, from the looks of it, from the visual style, is young people, probably pre-puberty, then or just about to puberty, then I think you have I don't know what to say, some sort of responsibility of not doing total crap,
but
not putting absolutely total crap into the most malleable minds on the planet.
Okay. Here's Tyler Preston for the donation. Want a better show about aliens defending Earth from other evil aliens? Just watch any of the Ultraman series. All right. Watch Ultraman Cosmos, especially since the hero uses defense and saves the monsters instead of killing them. Interesting. Ultraman. That is one of the original. Is that the original Sentai, or is that like the evolution of Sentai? I can't remember. That was like...
I'm not too familiar. I only remember the names Ultraman and Kamen Rider, and I have no idea where it's coming from now.
I don't know the standards for Sentai, but thank you.
I haven't lived in that land of weeb. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's never been for me, but I do know
that's the neighboring country of weeb.
It's part of it. It's just sort of off to the side. We don't talk to them too much. Here is Fritz. I'm not mentioning Greg, because who honestly cares about Greg? The writers don't, and neither did Rose. Ah, poor Greg. What happened to Greg?
Yeah, pretty true. I mean, he's the nice buffoon that is sidelined.
Oh, all right.
Dude, and he doesn't even have a negative relationship with his boy.
Huh.
Like, what? Why the fuck? Why?
Oh, Greg's the surfer dude, right? That sits in the van.
Well, he's the father.
He's the father. Oh.
Yeah, he's the father who lives in his van and has a car wash.
Yeah, but he's a male.
Surfer dude thing.
So males aren't that important.
Oh, right, because they're lazy slobs. That makes a lot of sense.
Most male characters in the show are unlikable.
Like Steven.
They're unlikable or idiots.
It's just reflecting real life. What can you say?
Oh, God. All right, let's keep going. Here's Vladimir Dragunov. Thank you. I meant a hatchling Deathclaw. I know, but I don't see any difference between the models, and they should.
There's hatchling Deathclaws?
Yeah, I've never seen that. I don't know. He's imagining an infant. Like an infant Deathclaw would be cute. I would imagine any infant would be cute, because that's the point of infants. Genetically.
Those things scare me. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, they're terrifying.
Blast it with a shotgun.
They're terrifying, but if you have a chibi version of anything, it's designed to be cute. That's the point. So, anyway.
Neflet Drake in the chat said, Sentai is the Power Rangers specifically.
Ultraman is just one guy? Is that why?
think it's its own, that's apparently its own thing.
I thought it was a genre, not specifically Power Ranger genre.
Oh, Power Ranger.
All
Well,
right.
just Power Ranger specifically is Sentai,
Okay,
according
okay.
to Drake.
Because when you think of like Ultraman or Guyver, it's only one guy doing all the stuff. So maybe there's a certain genre for that. I have no idea. We'll call it superhero anime, whatever. Doesn't matter. Mike Testa, again. It was during EFAP 51, early days, jokes on you. Wow. Okay. That's a while back. Thank you, Mike. Jay should just shut up while he can still wisp. Okay. I gotcha. You know what? Let Jay figure his own life out.
Cool.
Let's not judge the guy. For his personal- it's his life.
He can wreck himself all the way he wants.
Right.
I draw the line where you start talking shit to other people about it.
Oh yeah, if he starts espousing his beliefs to others and arguing it, go ahead. That's fair game. That's an argument.
Yeah, because then you're no different to me than the psychopath we covered here, who even admits on his channel presentation video that he is unironically a transgender and takes pride in having talked his friends into being trans.
That's just creepy.
Oh,
That is
To me,
Really?
you're no different than
Yikes.
that. That was the guy who saw the putting your hand on the shoulder of the girl as a rape threat or something. Like, super
All
weird.
right.
Okay.
Whatever.
Drake says tokusatsu is the genre of Power Ranger type things.
Okay.
It means transforming hero.
Okay. Thank you. That's
Okay.
cool.
Thank you.
I don't know all these
You learned a
terms
thing.
because I just don't watch them. And if I watch them, I might know, but it's good to know that others do. So
When I was a kid, I loved Wind Spectre. Sadly, that never reran later on.
Wind Spectre?
Wind Spectre was a Tokyo police agency
Oh.
with two robots that were. I think one could transform into a jet, and the other had a wheel in his chest, so he could ride down the street while lying on the street. And the main character was a guy who got some sort of Iron Man suit that he could operate for like 5 minutes before it would start to kill him. That was cool. That was cool shit because he was always on the brink of collapsing at the end and going beyond, and yeah, was cool. Cool shit as a kid. Cool cop stuff. Japanese cop stuff with mechs.
Yeah, it's always fun.
What do you want?
As a kid, yeah. I think the Japanese got the world of childhood interest working very well for them. So
I
anyway.
thought that we got stuff like that back in the day, and now we get Steven Universe.
Yeah. Here's the Mechanist. I can't believe that I missed Monday's stream. I'm a Lego expert and I wasn't there to help. Oh, that's okay.
Aw.
We did fairly well. We had some Lego game fans that were with us. I think we did okay. So that was good. I like the
Nice.
stream. The Lego stream was good. Here's Vladimir Dragonov. Have you seen the new Battlefield trailer? No, I haven't. When did it come out? Just today? Did anyone pay attention?
Yeah.
Was today?
I mean, I saw that there was a trailer. I just didn't watch it.
Okay, I'll check it out later tonight. I was watching the stocks, the meme stocks today. That was exciting for me. So I actually own one. I was like, oh my god, 50% in 1 hour. Like what? How'd that happen?
Oh.
That was fun. That was exciting. Mike Testa. All right. Yes, Smud. Child abuse is very funny. Wink, wink. Oh. Okay, Mike.
Obviously.
Jeez. Those lowbrow jokes. Okay. Anyway. Good to go. Let's do it.
She gets on like missions and stuff. Oh no, out of the question.
Sure, he can generate force fields and astrally project himself, but his greatest power is seeing humanity in what most people would consider, well, monstrous.
Wait, don't! Come on, baby melon. We have to stop this.
That's what makes Steven and the show, Steven Universe, unique. By series end, just about every character that's initially an enemy has become an ally. And that's because no one is irredeemable in Steven Universe.
Oh, how special. enemies become friends. We've never seen that before.
Well, I've never
Could
watched.
you name me a single thing where that has ever happened before?
I've never
This is
seen
completely new ground.
Gargoyles or
This guy just-
X-Men or Spider-Man or
Yeah.
Batman or any show from the 90s that
Superman.
did this. Yeah.
This just
I
tells me
think
this guy
Dragon
doesn't
Ball
watch
does
anything
this to the
beyond
point where
Steven
it gets
Universe.
annoying.
Yeah, all the enemies are pretty much your friends at the end. I can't kill him, so I must become his friend. Like, okay. Or if you do get killed, they go to heaven and they come back, so it's all right.
His Journey to the West.
Okay.
Have you ever read Journey to the West?
I've read not the actual story, but the synopsis of the first chapter, as well
Okay.
as the other stories that come from it.
Yeah, well, the writing style isn't too great because it's old and several people wrote it. But basically the Chinese pendant to Homer's Odyssey.
Yep.
Basically the Eastern type main character goes on journey and gets a ragtag group of friends together with different powers and backgrounds who seem to have been enemies before they joined his merry band of weirdo protagonists, like the Monkey King Son Goku
Yeah.
and the pig demon guy.
The one.
I forgot the names. I'm sorry. It's
Yeah,
just
no,
so long ago.
Journey to the
my
West
brain is mush.
is one of the 4 major Chinese stories, and that's where we got the inspiration from Dragon Ball. So Son Goku and then the Monkey King and all this stuff. So it's pretty famous, pretty well known. They're all sort of very familiar with. They're always an inspiration for stories, like the Suikoden series or the Water Margin stories.
Mm-hmm.
Romance of the Three Kingdoms was the other. I can't remember the 4th one. It's not as famous. So, but yeah, no, these are things that you just sort of pick up as you're like, hey, this reminds me of another story I read, which was also inspired by the same ancient Chinese story. So
Yeah.
you
It's
know.
just a couple thousand years ago.
Yeah.
Oh. The story of Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
When he befriends Enkidu. And they fought like mad before. And then after they fight, they become friends. The bestest friends ever.
The Sumerian epic has this exact trope. Oh my God.
What's that? Well, how many thousand years old
Yes,
is
I
that?
don't know. The
we even
foundation
know?
of civilization. How's that?
I mean, I don't know off the top of my head how fucking old that is.
At least 8,000 years. I don't know, around there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So yeah,
It is younger than the Marduk story, but it is old.
Yeah, so
I
thank
think the Marduk story is 10, 12,000. They don't really know.
yeah. So
I haven't
Nerdstalgic
checked in a long time.
doesn't quite remember his literature very well. But that's okay. That's fine. He doesn't.
It's hard to pinpoint stories like this when there wasn't very good bookkeeping.
the Library of Alexandria burned down. We just lost everything. Can't remember.
Yeah, just burnt down.
Alexander
had a hissy fit.
All my papyrus is yellow and moldy. I can't read it anymore. I don't know.
Yeah. On that note, there's a one thing I just want to say because it's so hilarious. I think it was. I may mix things up right now. So it was either part of the Sargon of Akkad story, or it was part of the Hittites. But I think it was the Sargon of Akkad story, where the king, before Sargon became king, sent out a letter in order to get help to hire a mercenary or assassin or something for a plot to assassinate Sargon. And since a letter in that time was a clay tablet and the envelope wasn't invented yet, everyone, including the messenger, could read the plot of the king on the clay tablet. So that there was the encryption level was -1. It's just hilarious, these old stories. Like don't write your secrets on postcards, okay?
Okay.
This old stuff is wonderful. It's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Here's
Ancient history is
Here-
wonderful.
Here's Mike test again. Remember when Connie shrank in design for 0 reasons? Connie is a character in the show, I imagine.
It's his girlfriend that he does a fusion dance with and becomes this weird pseudo-male, pseudo-female 16-year-old kid all of a sudden.
Non-binary.
I have no fucking clue what that's supposed to be, but it has hips and it has stubble.
Okay. Well,
And it's the SJW's imagination of what trans is, and I fucking hate SJWs for that.
all right. Here's Roan Harushan. Hey Roan, how you doing, buddy? May God Gundam have mercy on us all. It's Steven Universe. Yeah, I know. That was a $20 donation, by the way, Roni. Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate
Wow.
that. See, he's doing it right. He's using the donation option, and all that gets deposited into my account. I appreciate that. That's the right way. Yes, you're bypassing YouTube and not seeing it up on the screen or on the chat, but you know what you're doing.
That's
with your money.
great. Wow.
Yeah, it's great. All right. Back to Steven Universe and him trying to befriend this acid-spitting dog thing.
I mean, the episode is cute in a way, but it's just I'm sorry, it's too far-fetched.
Well,
It's
again,
just if you have snapping alligator thing, okay, it's a stretch, but you have acid dripping, drooling thing.
yeah, and
It's
he's
just-
You can't befriend acid drooling thing because acid drooling thing accidentally acid drools you
Yeah.
and melts you.
And there was a
like
scene
in that Guns episode where you get the limbs get melted.
we saw on the screen where he was feeding it chips from his hand. And you're like,
Mhm.
that wouldn't work, Steven. You would have lost your hand. Never mind
Yeah.
the giant claws chomping away on your fingers there, but the acid from his giant claws would have dissolved your hand. So anyway, let's keep going.
In Universe's chronology. Steven talks to them. He puts himself in their shoes to understand their needs and why they do the things they do, which again is unusual for a show built
Now his
to
face is
appeal
gone.
to the action side of children.
Look at that!
Did the Powerpuff Girls ever stop to ask Mojo Jojo where all his anger was coming from?
I am Mojo Jojo.
Yeah, because talking to the villain about his emotions at this point in the story might not be the best course of action.
Yeah, at this point, the other side isn't listening to reason or appeals to emotion. That's just the application of rage.
Can you imagine having a guy
And it's Mojo Jojo.
You have a
Mojo Jojo is awesome.
Yeah, but just imagine a guy in this scenario. He's on the street. He's terrorizing just the street, whoever's there. Can you imagine a cop going, "Sir, can I talk about your emotions right now? You're a bit rough." You know, it's like, no,
Yeah,
that wouldn't happen.
You know what a good application of this is? Megamind.
Oh, really?
Because with Megamind, because he's not actually evil, the appeal might even work. But with the supervillain Megamind in his hubris created, Titan, that will not work. He will just laser eye melt you. And that was the wonderful thing about that movie, or one of the many wonderful things
Right.
about that very underrated movie.
Well,
Is Megamind's not a real villain. Metromind is a real hero. He just got tired of the game. And Titan, the average bloke who should never get power because he has a horrible selfish personality. He's the example of what happens when the average bloke with absolutely no ethics and no care in the world and no conscience, no empathy, gets superpowers. That guy doesn't give a shit.
I think
And he actually makes sense contrary to Zod in Man of Steel.
oh, geez, don't even go there.
Titan is scary. Titan is really scary.
I think what he's trying to get at is there's a certain depth when you have a dialogue between protagonist and antagonist where you're saying what's going on in your head? What is causing you to do this? Now, usually when we see a villain, and this is even a Stan Lee quote, where it's like a villain is there to be conquered. He's like a mountain. And that's what he didn't like. He wanted the villain to be a person. It's the same thing with antagonists. Yes, tell us why the villain is doing what they're doing. That's called a plot. So if you tell the audience what the plot is, the audience knows, and we don't need the protagonist to come, hey, villain who's destroying Metropolis, why are you doing this? How do you feel? We don't need to know that, because the hero just has to stop the bad stuff from happening. That's the point of a hero. He doesn't need to get into the mind of the antagonist, but it does help the audience. So we don't necessarily need this weird Steven Universe scenario where he has to start talking to people to figure out. Just show us why, in the medium of animation, why the villain's doing what they're doing. You can do it visually, like with miming or acting. Words.
A great Western version of this in a cartoon was Mr. Freeze in the Batman animated series.
Oh, it was beautiful. That was a beautiful scene with his wife, and he's just obsessed with getting her back, and his entire humanity has been displaced from him. And he's just, all he cares about is Nora, because that's all he's got.
Yeah, which is a trope that has been used before Mr. Freeze and after Mr. Freeze, but it was a very good adaptation of that idea,
because
what drives the villain.
It wasn't clarified in the comics in that sense, and because it was so powerful, they sort of, okay, let's have Mr. Freeze be about his wife and why he is the way he is. See, all it takes is one plot that everyone can relate to make sense.
It's not silly destruction. It is an comprehensible motivation.
Yeah, one thing. We don't need the Powerpuff Girls to stop and start arguing. I mean, it'll be fun for comedy reasons, but
there's also a stage where you are past the point where you try to reason with the villain.
Right.
We now have to fight because the arguments have been exchanged and there has been no change of mind.
That's what we talk about, the 8 steps of warfare. There's escalation and there's basic democracy. You discuss things out. And the last stage is actual combat. So violence is the final stage. And once you get to war, there are no more rules. So you have these stages of escalation.
And it's very rare you de-escalate from war.
Yeah, so if you're at the
once
point...
you are there, it's just you killed that friend of mine, but you killed that friend of mine, and then it just doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't matter if the guy
just goes on and on.
Is in a giant robot suit or he's a guy with a gun on the street. You're not going to stop. There's so many scenarios that you're not going to stop them by talking. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, and that's still just talking about reasonable villains or reasonable antagonists.
Hoping they're...
It's not talking about the actual nihilistic psychopath.
Hoping that there's some humanity in them that they will actually want to discuss their feelings with, which is bizarre when you think about it. Imagine a man screaming with a gun to another guy 20 meters away about what he's doing. Like, that's stupid. That's happened in Toronto where we had a gunman on the subway and he dragged a lady out for about 10, 20 minutes throughout the subway, and he didn't say anything. They tried to talk to him down. He didn't say anything, and the police came to the conclusion this guy wants to be shot. Like, he is at the end of his rope. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't want to hurt this lady, but he can, and they had to take him down. And that was that. Like, if you are not responding and you're holding...
There is such a thing as deliberate suicide by cop.
Yeah,
that is a thing.
Yeah.
And there is no other way if you want to save someone in that case, because it's set up the way that you have to kill the bad guy because the bad guy wants to be killed.
Yeah, essentially.
That is a special situation, a special scenario. Just there's stuff running through my mind. Adaptation of the Mr. Freeze thing would be in one of the better Voyager episodes. A double episode. They wanted to make a season out of it initially, about the time ship that was constantly changing the timeline in a sector of the Delta Quadrant, because the captain of that ship wanted to. This was a special weapon to win a war, but in order to the first use of that led to the death of his wife, eradicated from the timeline. Only he remembers because you're insulated on the time ship. And he's been trying for 500 years to restore the timeline in a way that restores the power of the empire he was part of, as well as make his wife reappear. That was his entire goal. He's done it for 500 years until the Voyager comes along, and due to shield shenanigans, is somewhat immune to the whole bullshit. Which the captain thought, we're so close. We get 99.97% restoration. Like, we've never been so close. And then that was the estimates, the simulations. And then Voyager comes along, and due to their shield shenanigans, so completely unexpected outside factor, makes the whole time warping wave do weird shit, and then everything's worse than it ever was. And the captain has a mental breakdown, because what the fuck just happened? And because of that, creates a vendetta against the Voyager, because that is just messing everything up. He was so close to achieving his goal. He has all reason to be pissed, and that's one example of such a villain. And well adapted. I had other things in mind, but now I forgot. So it's good for you, because we might finish.
Yeah. Well, Voyager's hit and miss, but there are some good shows. I admit that. Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
We wanted to do great stuff with the show, but the producers didn't want to let them.
It's the same problem with the TNG, honestly. The first few seasons, there was all too many writers in the room. Gene Roddenberry was constantly changing things, and it took 2 years.
With Voyager, it was worse, because that the whole setup of that show should have been, we have these characters that change across the journey, and the ship changes across the journey, because this is a journey where they cannot constantly go back to harbor and do the episodic thing. They cannot resupply easily.
Yeah.
They are on an actual track. They're not just bumping around in the Alpha Quadrant as the previous shows did. They are on the actual track from A to B, the Odyssey, to get home. They go in the zigzag, and they get more battered as it gets along. And that should have changed most of the characters. There's one episode where I come across another Federation ship, much smaller vessel, that also was thrown there. And I forgot the name. And because that ship was much smaller crew, it was much more vulnerable to damage to the ship, to the crew, losing crew members. And they got really desperate. They threw Federation directives overboard, because they had to for sheer survival. And that is where the Voyager crew should have drifted to more and more. Not simply with Janeway being a renegade that is sometimes indistinguishable from an actual villain, but her having a path that leads towards that makes her turn into that, and at some point having to reconcile with, what the fuck am I actually doing?
Yeah.
And that episode could have been one of those moments where she realized, shit, if I continue on this path, I'll turn into that guy.
Yeah, that was a two. I think it was a two-parter at least. The Equinox arc.
Yeah.
Equinox. That was good.
You're right.
They were hunting those species, whatever number, from the Borg.
Yeah, those spirit things
for
from
energy,
another dimension that they used as fuel. They had to.
That was cool. That was good. There were some good Voyager episodes, and then some really stupid ones. But that's the show. Anyway, let's keep going, or else we'll be talking about other stuff for a long, long time. Here is The Mechanist. Thanks again. I started giving supervillain names to the different video makers you cover. Oh my God. If I ever needed a C-level villain for a future comic, I might use them. Oh, jeez. Oh, God.
All right.
I am Renegade Cut. Oh, okay. I used to teach English in southern North Korea.
Yeah. And as I think about it, in Japanese media, when I see these stupid flat villains that are just about destruction, it only seems to be in comedy.
Yeah.
That has really no reason behind it. Otherwise, you have either your super galaxy entity thing, or some philosophical reasoning behind it. And it's only really the Western media, the American media, that does these really superficial cartoon villains. But that's my perspective from the limited knowledge I have from these two very, very different sides of the globe. Because I'm trying to find something in Japanese media that is equatable to silly nonsense villains, like in Powerpuff Girls is a comedy as well. But that is equatable in I just want to destroy things because I like destroying things. And I can't. Neither in Asura's Wrath, neither in Xenoblade Chronicles. That is not the case. Yes, you have in Xenoblade Chronicles, you have two main villains, if you will. One is the head priest of a theocratic nation that he became the head of some 500 years ago through intrigue and everything, because he wanted to gain power in order to rival the architect or the god of that world, the maker of that world, and ask him, why the fuck did you make this world in such a cruel fashion? In order to reach that goal, to get to the creator and potentially replace him, he goes over bodies. He leaves behind charred earth and genocide. And so he becomes the same evil that the world that made him realize how broken and twisted the real world is. And then you have Malos, the agent and reflection of that guy, he's the manifestation of a computer in the story, and that gets the priest's basic disposition, basic personality, and the subconscious personality imprinted on him. So he just becomes the manifestation of his malice, and his name is Malos. It should be Logos, but it is to show the corrupted form of Logos, which is Malos. And he is just, you could say he's a pure nihilist who wants to destroy everything, but that's not what he is.
So
he's not, because he has the power to destroy the world and every living being in a matter of minutes.
So you
could just go around, destroy all the continents, but he doesn't do it.
So you would use his
in
name.
The prequel, especially.
Wait, slow down. Wait. You're using his name? Is that why you like it? As a supervillain?
What?
Was the topic?
No.
The name of supervillain.
It's not because of the name. It's not because of the name.
So what are we talking about?
I was just the villain Malos is. He has this power to destroy the world at every time. And he thinks that because he has this power, and he is one of the three main agents of the creator of the world,
okay,
that he thinks he has this power in order to destroy the world, that is his job. Okay. But that's not the case. And he tries to figure that out for good. He wants to convince the other agent that that is the case.
So because he thinks he's doing good things, he doesn't think himself as a villain, is what you're saying.
No, he does see that he is doing he knows he is doing bad things.
Okay.
Like killing people and destroying continents. But he thinks he is doing so because the architect wants him to, because he has this power in the first place. What he does is he is pissed at the creation of the architect of that world's god, because the people are not appreciative of their lives and not making the best of themselves. And that's why he could easily destroy them, but he rather wants to teach them a lesson.
Okay, so you're saying
in his way.
This fellow is like some of the people we cover on YouTube, is that they have these ridiculous ideas that are actually hurting people, but because they hurt people, they're going to learn these lessons of horrific ideas of socialism and SJW philosophy and other nonsense. Is that what you're getting at?
In a way, yeah. Malos is destroying a people, an entire people, and a continent, to tell everyone else, fucking value your lives, you idiots. Don't waste them.
By killing them. Really?
Yes.
That's the whole point.
Yes, value your lives. So I destroy this continent and all these people, and I let some refugees go to send the message.
For a second,
so that you over there make something out of your lives.
I was like, where are we going with this, Whistling? What are we talking about anymore? I just forgot the topic.
I'm sorry. I just
That was more
realized that
interesting than this
the
video.
writing of that
Oh, I
of
know.
the
I
characters
know.
in that are actually very complex.
I know you like the game because you mentioned it a few times. I was just like, well, how did we get on this topic? I don't remember what talking about.
So, because we talked about supervillains and good and badly written ones and
Oh,
with motivation and without.
that's...
And I was trying to find something in Japanese media that had like these stupid you just destroy
let's be honest,
for the
the
sake of
Japanese are
destroying.
better.
Well,
And even the ones that are purely about destruction, like Marlos, I cannot. He actually has reasons.
okay. Well, I admit
He has a philosophical disposition
these
why he
giant-
does the things he does.
these well-done JRPGs do have big, long storylines that tend to meander a bit too much for my taste, but they tend to reveal the plots later on in the story, which is nice, but I still would like a surface-level plot, aside from go stop the bad guy from doing the bad thing. Not, hey...
That depends a lot. You have JRPGs that do this well,
Yeah.
and you do have ones that do this absolutely shitty. Like what was it, Final Fantasy 13? The one with
Oh,
lightning?
Don't...
That was just what
don't
was that?
even- Lightning... the whole lightning story, even the first game, just don't touch. Just don't bother. Just don't even touch it.
Second?
The third one is absolute garbage. I cannot believe how dumb that was. But just don't touch those. Those are bad. Anyway, let's.
I have a feeling the Final Fantasy title came from a desperation title of this is the last thing we make, and either it's hit or miss, to Final Fantasy meaning completely delusional, detached from sense, rationality, and reality in writing. Like it's just fever dreams at this point.
Okay. I don't know what to think of it. Final Fantasy's been a mess for a while, so I don't really play it anymore. But 13 was enough. I was like, that's too much. I can't go. It's too dumb. All right, let's keep going. Mike Testa, shut up, take my money the Mike way. Oh. Okay, Michael, you say so. Here's Tyler Preston. Spider-Man Cletus, why don't we talk about your emotions? Why are you so angry? Carnage. I'm not angry. I love killing. To me, it's an art form. Okay, that's all we need to know. There you go. Tyler, that's Spider-Man for you. It's like, yeah, they deal with these things, though. So that's the great thing about Marvel, at least the comic books. They deal with these things a lot. Here's Ron Hirushin for the donation, $10 donation. Ooh, look out. Superheroes now obsolete. What the city needs is therapists. Well, most comic writers these days need some instead of putting it in their books. In a lot of stories, therapy is a form of realization, either self-realization or a character change that a character either seeks advice from or learns things the hard way. So when you say therapy, to me, it's character growth, and it doesn't matter whether it's external or they figure it out themselves or what have you. So these are usually part of a good character arc or a climax because there is a lesson there, and that lesson is clear to the audience who goes, oh, this guy's got some problems, and he's just figured one of them out. And it doesn't matter if it's a villain or a protagonist, or it's a good lesson or a bad lesson. That there's always a lesson to be learned. So I don't know if that's in Steven Universe, but it seems as if it's more like, kid trying to befriend monster, bad idea. Monster eat people. That's not good. You can't coexist. Okay. Right? That's the general idea.
Don't befriend llamas. They eat hands.
Yeah. Acid spewing eyeball monster with claws, not a good pet.
Yeah, even if it has a nice personality and everything, you could train it. You still don't want a pet that is drooling acid.
Yeah, exactly. Here's Mike Testa. Smud, if I didn't do this, I would be melted by TVA. TVA. What is TVA?
I think he's talking about the Loki show.
What is that? Is that a quote from
TVA?
Oh,
No, it's the enemy force, the TVA.
Oh, it's the Marvel thing. It's the time something or other. What the hell's that thing called?
I don't know.
It's in the comics. I don't remember. It's a long time ago. I can't remember. All right. Mike has all the information. We just have to catch up with him half the time. So Okay. Here's another one. If Wisp didn't do his rant, he would be melted. What? No. Oh God. Here's my test. For the last time, Jay would have been melted if he didn't tweet at JL. Really?
Oh, maybe.
Are we talking about the show now? Because I'm assuming there's lots of.
No. My tester is talking about the stuff we talked about half an hour ago.
Okay. All right.
And I am aware that my attempt at explaining these complex villains might have sounded like Mike Tester or Alex Halo trying to explain something.
Yeah.
I am aware that these things are too complex to just TLDR them when you haven't articulated that before. And in that very case, it's the game I was talking about marries three very complex topics with each other. That is Christian mythology, symbolism, with Jungian psychology, and what was the last thing? It's too late. Nietzschean philosophy.
Oh my.
And now imagine someone comes with those three things to your boardroom, to executive room, and says, "I want to make a science fantasy game for children with those themes, those three themes." Who will treat like that?
Sure, yeah, that's totally doable. I'm sure. What?
Only in Japan.
Yeah.
Only in Japan.
All right. Here is Mike Testa. Steve had to rape Connie, or he would be melted. Mike, I think you're pushing the joke a bit too far there. Here's the Mechanist. Renegade Cut is the revisionist. Lindsay is the red whale. What? Maggie is crazy Vish. P Romantic is Mega Gaijin. Mother's Basement is the basement dweller. Okay, so you're renaming them to your own thing. I gotcha. Okay, I thought you were going to use
these
it.
These are tokusatsu villains.
No. This is just if he's ever going to write a story, he would use the names of the people we cover. I thought he would just use them directly, but he's changed them.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. Go for it. Why not?
Oh, okay.
Anyway, let's also go for it. Let's go.
Did I ever sit Starscream down and say, "Hey, something going on?"
Best to continue our search incognito.
Steven Universe.
That is so
By the way,
weird.
the Transformers is a terrible comparison because we're talking about a war that's gone on for centuries in Cybertron.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're a Decepticon. You're a piece of shit. Like I think they're trying in that show specifically, they're trying to get the Allspark so they can destroy Cybertron or whatever. So I'm not sure why Optimus needs to have a conversation with Starscream.
Starscream, although does seem to have a bit of a red coat to him, he seems to shift allegiances a bit, but not all. He's mostly evil though, because he always wants power. He's trying to one up Megatron, and if there were anyone to turn, it would be him. But they're not implying that that's a plot line. They're just saying, why doesn't it happen? It's like he's evil.
Starscream in every incarnation is a sniveling backstabber. He would not turn to become a good guy. He would only opportunistically support you if it helped him get rid of Megatron, seizing power, and then turning his back on you again after you helped him get into power. That's what he would do. And he wouldn't actually join you become a good guy.
Exactly.
So
and I think
because
in that show,
his whole goal is power.
There's human casualty. There's just because it's a kid show, we can't actually show that, but he's going to cause damage to humans. Why do we need to have a conversation about that? I don't know. It's really stupid.
It's never entirely clear how bad they are in what capacity on the original show because it's for kids. It's only till we get later on in the later shows in the movie, like, oh, these guys are evil for this reason. And that's when we understand why. So, yes, the show was designed to sell toys. That's obvious. But you don't just start having and Optimus always argues with Megatron when they're fighting. So it's not like he's stupid. I'm just going to have a conversation. We're going to settle this diplomatically. Megatron's like, no, he's going to shoot him.
I've had this fight for a long time.
Megatron's a piece of shit. He never wants to have a conversation. He always shoots first and asks questions later.
Yeah, Optimus tries for centuries tries to reason, and there's at one point in the Generation 1 cartoon that in the final episode, Optimus does give up on Megatron and ends him. That is a finale, and that is after centuries of trying to reason and patience. But at some point, Megatron stepped. Even for Optimus, Megatron stepped too far.
All right,
and that's I think that's even for kids, or especially for kids, that's a point to make it a lesson to drive home. You can only reason for so long. It's good that you try and that you keep trying, but there's a point where it just becomes silly, and it keeps endangering other people unnecessarily.
I mean, sometimes you can't even reason, though. I mean, it's ridiculous to think that the bully pushing you down is gonna listen to reason one day. I don't know.
And however you adapt that, in that case, it is Optimus destroyed Megatron. In another adaptation, it is if imagine that Batman would not lock up thugs and hand them to the police so they can be incarcerated, but instead only ever beats them up and then leaves and tells no one and doesn't tie them up. That's essentially what Optimus did all the time with Megatron. Like, beat him up and then let him get away. Beat him up, let him get away. Batman at least incarcerates the villains.
Yeah.
Which is the equivalent to taking the villain out of public life.
Okay, here's Mike Test again. It's a joke how nothing can exist in Marvel if it's not predetermined. Otherwise, it would be vaporized on the spot. So Marvel has no imagination. Oops. I have not seen the show. I don't know. Obviously, the first episode went through, but I've been hearing bad stuff.
Yeah.
So. Anyway.
Loki's gender fluid. Yeah.
He's what?
He's gender
Not even
fluid.
in mythology.
He's a trickster, yes, but I don't. Okay.
Yeah, magic's not a gender.
Yeah, but you know how SJWs are. Once there is someone even forced or for tricks or for jokes, being the other sex, then that must be a trans. And if it's a tomboy, it must be a trans. And if you're interested in the wrong thing, you must be trans. And since Loki mythologically has often disguised himself as a woman and also gotten a lot of very horrible, demon-like children, the SJWs claim that he must be trans. Blah, blah. When we see that in mythology all over the place, because it's gods
it's magic, though.
Yeah, gods work differently from humans. Like, you put your godly essence into something and bam, new child.
On the MCU, he's like a frost giant, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
because
he's adopted.
Right.
Yeah, he's adopted. And they use magic to make him look like an Asgardian, I guess.
Yeah, but also that wouldn't make him trans. That would make him. Well, maybe he's. What is that? What is he? Asgard facing?
Oh God! Let's not make it even more confusing, guys. I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna go into a rant about it, and I don't want to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, but I heard in the show they do time travel shenanigans, and that's
God!
Forget it.
Yeah,
you're done.
Time
You're done.
travel.
You want to be MCU?
Oh yeah, because
you want to undercut the CW in being crap. Great. You're just spending more money. You're just spending more money to achieve the same as the CW.
Right? They don't need to do that.
You know what? I've been wanting to watch some of the Marvel films, and I'm just like, I don't think I should anymore. Don't want
Just watch the Captain America ones. That's it.
You know,
Okay.
when I
Forget
saw
everything
the first, you know, when I saw the first Thor movie, I thought, or in retrospect, if there was a Loki show, I'd want it with the tone, the sincerity of the first Thor movie, and that kind of Loki, and not this present day casual Earth clothes nonsense. That's just silly.
All right. Here's John Doe, the average Joe. Thank you. This is sounding a lot like the CW Batwoman and Alice. Oh, don't even bother with that. That is the dumbest shit. My villain is my sister. If you guys ever watch anything with the first season of Batwoman, it's basically the villain is my sister. I won't kill her, but I want to. Well, she kills everyone. I never stop her. And it's the dumbest. You just like, she's killed dozens of people. Stop her.
Yeah, it's the
break her legs.
It's a cartoon. It's a cartoon trope driven to silliness when the show tries to look like it's sincere and earnest.
It is absolutely ridiculous. The show itself is stupid. Like I've went through.
I didn't even bother. I was like,
I tried because.
Have you seen that first trailer?
Oh God, yeah. I covered a few episodes.
You did a video on it, right?
I did the trailer for sure. Then I did about, was it 3 or 5? I can't remember, was it 3 or 5 episodes? After that, I just checked out. This is such a bad show. It's not even worth analyzing for fun. It's just stupid. So every shot was dumb. I just couldn't take it anymore. So I do have my limits, but I will watch anything. So, you know. Anyway, who the heck is Steven? Thanks for the donation. Just arrived. What the heck is Steven Universe? Some type of perversion cartoon? Oh.
Sure, why not?
That's one way of putting it.
Hit the hammer on the nail, I think.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. All right, we're good. Let's keep going.
Starts out as a Monster of the Week show, but over 5 seasons, 1 movie, and an epilogue series, it
Not
becomes
really.
something more unique. Something that strikes a chord that most shows don't even attempt to approach. It tells an epic story with a deep mythology that spans galaxies. Sure, it has fun songs.
What do you want?
Not really.
Yeah.
You're the master of you, and this is the thought.
From the beginning, the creators set out to make something different. That's how we got here. They openly defied what co-executive producer Ian Jones-Quartly described as the unspoken rules of children's animation, saying, "We had come out of a time where there were these stock rules. A boy character can't cry, they can't wear pink. But in Steven Universe,
That's
our hero,
bullshit.
the aforementioned Steven Universe, lives in the idyllic beach city with the crystal
Wait.
gem."
Wait. Where'd you
Yeah,
get
what?
this that boys can't cry? Where's
Oh,
that
shoot, I'm
rule?
sorry.
Where's that rule from? Or can't
Wait, can you
we?
rewind that? I didn't get that.
To the
you
back to
say
the
that?
quote or something? Yeah. Let's look back. There was the quote was even on the. Is it on the screen?
Wait,
We had
okay,
to come out of a time where there were these stock rules. A boy character can't cry, can't wear pink. That's bullshit.
Watch Naruto
Okay.
every other episode. Naruto's crying all the time.
Hey, what about the Fairy Odd Parents? Boy who wears pink cries.
Yeah, and if you say
What the hell?
and here's comes the grammar Nazi. If you say a boy character can't cry, why do you then say they can't wear pink? Why can't you say he? You're obviously talking about a boy. Why are you using this bullshit crap there? These people
All
are
boys,
retarded.
right? I don't know.
These people are retarded. Because this, if you want to go that far, you can already imply from here that saying they can't wear pink, like because he's talking singular before, that now he's using the singular they bullshit for gender neutrality when he's talking about boys, implying that boys that wear pink aren't actual boys, but some gender fluid nonsense. And so that's if I go into interpretation mode about what the choice of words in the sentence means in the speech this socialist, indoctrinated, brainwashed, brain melted guy does. But in general, no. We've seen, like, have you seen He-Man's clothes when he was not in He-Man mode, wearing this pink shirt all the time?
Big burly man, yeah.
There was He-Man. There've been. I think there were scenes where Man at Arms was crying. There were other shows where boys have been crying in Western cartoons as well as anime anyway, because they don't have problems with depicting people, adults, kids as emotional beings that have that actually feel pain physically and emotionally, and the same is true in Western media. Like his claim that these are some stock rules is made up propaganda that these people believe to be true about the world that they have never checked. They never did a reality check. They just believe these things as stereotypes about, for example, what they believe the conservative run world is like. But that's not what the reality is.
Bullshit. Like,
this
contributes to the beautiful genius of Steven Universe, really?
Yeah, but and it's not just subjective bullshit. It is not even real bullshit. It's delusional. It's an allegation against reality that is simply not true.
All right.
This is just a thing they believe because they believe this is how conservatives view the world, and therefore never before in media a boy has worn pink and the boy has never cried before. Like,
go watch.
You have to be
Pokemon.
insane to believe that. You have to be insane to believe that now in 2015, 2020, you are the revolutionary genius that for the first time in 2020, you write a boy character that wears pink and cries. That is so breathtaking and
how about
revolutionary.
SpongeBob? Patrick was pink. He cried. If you want to go that far, I don't know.
Well, it's so bold and unheard of. No one's ever done this. It's,
these people are insane. They believe this crap. They really believe this crap. Like,
I don't know.
As some religious person believing that angels are talking to him, or.
All right, let's keep going here. Here's Who the Heck is Steven again. Wow, that's one really ugly cartoon. It's like, thanks. Mike Testa.
No duh.
CC, he did it to his father. I was right. Okay. I'll trust you on that one, Mike. Here's another Mike super chat.
He graped him.
Courage was pink jelly bean shaped dog, and he cried.
Oh, yeah. Courage.
All right. Okay.
Courage the cowardly dog.
Yeah. Here's the Mechanist again. Didn't He-Man cry while mourning the death of a foe? You know what? Yeah. There was lots of very, I wouldn't say homoerotic, but very, what was that guy's name with the spandex and the heart on his chest? Like, it was very effeminate. So they had designs which you'd be like, I wouldn't be comfortable wearing that. But unless I was a burly man in a gay bar, maybe I'd be okay. You know, like He-Man had those designs. So that was the thing. As a kid, you were like, oh, whatever. The guy's an archer. He's got a bow and arrow. He's got a heart. You know, it's not. Was it a bow staff? I can't remember. What was his weapon? Was it an archery?
I have no idea.
I can't recall.
I don't know. It's been forever since I've watched that show. I never went, oh, this is gay.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, this is awesome.
You're a kid. He-Man throws mountains at people. That's awesome. It's so cool. So you watched him ride a giant green tiger that transformed from a little dog or something. I can't remember what he transformed from. So
Battle Cat.
There you go.
Oh,
the tiger things in Warcraft 3 were designed after Battle Cat.
So there's all kinds of great fun stuff in He-Man that was very fantasy oriented. So kids don't care about this shit. And there were these things that were in the show that we can't remember because they're not important. They're really not.
When does that become a problem? It's only a problem when you get to maybe high school, and then everything's got to be superficial, I guess.
Well, at that point.
But as a kid, you're not really thinking about this shit.
Kids are like, wow, colors and primary and secondary colors and animation and flying. Like She-Ra could transform her sword into so many things. Like I was like, oh, why couldn't He-Man do that? Like, oh, every sword's different, I guess. So like all
I think
kinds of
that
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah.
And I would guess that is what they are aiming for with these shows to get the kids by just being colorful and dazzling. And this is a good point to bring up a quote from Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, where he said in a very frustrated manner that colors are for simple people and children. Oh no, wait, it was colors are for simple people, women and children.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, I think we've exhausted this line of thinking. This is pretty silly. Let's go.
So boy
Yeah,
character
it's not
can't
unique.
cry, they can't wear pink,
just
but in
wrong.
Steven Universe, our hero, the aforementioned Steven Universe, lives in the idyllic beach city with the crystal gem.
We are the Crystal Gem.
A trio of alien gem-based humanoids. And yes, he wears pink, and yes, he cries. A lot. First episode just throws you into the deep end. We aren't sure why Steven isn't living with his lovable...
That was a jump in animation quality. Holy crap. All right, fine. Never mind.
Yeah, you see what we mean?
unambitious dad who lives in a van, but instead is being raised by the crystal gems, garnet, amethyst, and pearl. And we also don't know why everyone worships Steven's mom, Rose Quartz. Yes, the crystal gems
Steven
are
has a
literally
mom.
named after gems. Of course, there's also
Oh
Paradox.
god. As far as I watched it, the way for Steven's mom to give birth to Steven was to essentially die and be reincarnated as Steven.
What?
Okay.
It
Hold on.
no
Sorry.
sense.
Hold on. Repeat it again. I can't. Let me.
I
see
don't
if I'm
wanna say it
understanding this
again.
correctly.
As far as I watched it, the way it was implied up until that point was that for Rose Quartz, in order to give birth to Steven after being however impregnated by his dad,
Okay.
Rose had to disappear, fade away into her gem to be then reincarnated as Steven. So Steven is essentially his mother.
All right, that's enough.
What?
I'm good. That's a great story. I don't want to hear anymore. It's fine.
How does that?
And you think the
boy.
Japanese stuff is weird.
That is enough. That's enough. Okay, we're good.
Oh no,
What
Matthews
the
in the chat says it's exactly what you heard. Oh my god.
It's exactly.
I heard
You know
right.
what?
Oh
I'm
god,
just-
the chat agrees with me. Oh god, no.
I'm realizing all of these female characters, they're all I don't know who the writer is, but it feels as if there's something going on in his psyche to creatively create all of these things to make
Does
these
he want to be his mom? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Be inside her?
I don't know the psychoanalysis.
He finds the secret weapon stash of his mom, of the weapons that only she can use, like mega cannons and some
They're-
weird lion
They're
thing.
all
and
female.
and he can use it all.
They're all supernatural.
because he is her.
They're either aliens or what spirits, whatever the bullshit this is.
Yeah.
And they all manipulate some aspect of nature, like powers or whatever. It's like, what is going on here? Is this a magical girl show? Like, what is?
For a kid's show.
And there's a male main character, and he's surrounded by these weird girls that are just around him, and they're like his mother figures, friends. Like, what is
I don't know.
going on?
I don't know.
He's being raised by a bunch of
What the
crazy
hell is
Does
this
any of this make
concept?
any sense in terms of a family? Like, who are these?
How does a kid understand this? He's like, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it also makes so he's not going to school, and this whole story, how these three women teach him nothing. I have no idea, and his dad isn't there for him, so I have no fucking idea how Steven can know anything about anything or know how to interact with anyone. Because if he's grown up around these three girls, there's just nothing. He must have been completely neglected in every aspect.
So he's raising himself. Yeah, he's raising himself basically.
I mean, at best, he's in an Oedipal
Are they
relationship.
trying to teach?
with
Are they
those
trying to
three.
teach kids that they don't need parents? That they can do whatever the hell they want?
Oh,
I
God.
don't know.
It's just bullshit.
That better not be
It's
a
just
take
bullshit.
on black youths in America. Magical women coming out of nowhere
Obviously.
who teach young boys to be good or something.
Wasn't the writer black? Maybe.
I don't know.
No, it's Rebecca
I don't-
Fugger, not Rebecca Black.
All right.
I know.
all
I'm
right.
just joking. I don't want to get into
Here-
that.
Yeah, I think.
Here's who the heck is Steven again? What kind of tard names are those? Steven needs some new friends and a new mom. I don't know what this show needs, man. You got me.
He needs a dad.
He needs a
Honestly.
real family.
Yeah. Again, Steven Universe, Mental Illness, the cartoon. Looking at
Yep.
all these characters, all of them are women. All of them are magical. They're all based off gemstones or tungsten derivatives or whatever you want to call that part of gemology.
And they're all crazy.
They're all multicolored floral pastels, and they all have supernatural power. They're strong, independent. They're all motherly figures.
They don't need men.
This is like you take the hero's journey and you just take out you take the parts with the women in it, and that's the story. Like, forget the part where the male learns and grows and goes on a journey. It's just like, no, the woman goes with you here, and then they give you something, but the woman comes with you with the thing. It's just constant women everywhere.
I see what you mean. Yeah, it'd be like making a Super
They're
Mario
also-
game, but without
they're
any
also-
men. It's just Princess Peach.
Yeah, but they're also all psychos. Like the character we see here, I think she was in prison for genocide or something.
What?
Genocide,
Holy crap!
and we're supposed to empathize with.
This is for
Or, I
kids?
guess sympathize.
This
I
is
And
know.
then the
Now
other
here's
one
the
they,
words.
they locked up, Bismuth, which is supposedly the trans character, because that one looks like a buff man with dreadlocks. Was also wanted to eliminate the other side through sheer destruction, and I think was what creating weapons or
Can
anything.
you imagine?
I didn't watch that. I didn't get to that actual episode, and that episode was censored in a couple countries, including the UK. And I don't remember why.
Thank
I
God.
think it was something sexual.
Can you, can you imagine, like, Skeletor or one villain? Oh yeah, we put him away in jail because he killed 20,000 people on whatever. It's like, holy crap! Like, as a kid hearing that, you're like, this is nuts. This is not a.
Haha, hey man.
I'm gonna butcher your city with acid. Rawr. I'm gonna start
I'm gonna double
now.
the count.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, slow down there. Who is this for?
Let's just talk about your feelings, Skeletor.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
He-Man's like this mountain of a man. Like, obviously he's pretty powerful, but he just wants to talk. I could
Just
throw,
get Arnold Schwarzenegger.
yeah, I could throw a mountain on you and stop the genocide of my city, or I can talk to you about your feelings, you crazy psychopath.
Let's just talk about your feelings.
All right, here's
be great.
Mike Test again. So they ripped off the Fry being his own relative. What does that mean? The Fry, like
Is that a show too, or
there's a show called The Fry, or the actual potato, The Fry. I am so lost, Mike. I honestly, trying to understand your words and then having the topic be Steven Universe, I forget about it. I have no idea. All right.
good about it?
Yeah. Here's Fran, and we'll keep going. Hey, Fran, how you doing? Let's not forget the scrapped Steven Universe character, Concrete, who
Yes,
was
because concrete is a gem.
who was darkly colored and was illiterate. No, I did not make that up.
I posted you the design in
I
the thing.
Yeah, I remember. So was it you or someone else? Either was on LitDev stream. I saw the design, and it was a sketch.
Fuck?
This is how this is made by an SJW.
Yeah,
You know, the same people who complain about exactly these types of designs being racist towards black people.
Let me just bring this up. 'Cause it's so
wait,
amazing.
Does she have a big chest or does she have big boobs? I can't tell.
There's just a chest. These characters, they don't really have boobs. They just have weird chests.
So there's Concrete. It's an alien.
Thing. Yes.
It's an alien. Okay.
This is a gem. The gem concrete.
Okay.
Great. There she is, Concrete. bashful, super agile. She's super agile, really, but not as strong as she looks. Has a wicked shoe collection. How can you be super agile but have a wicked shoe collection? Okay, whatever. Can't read.
Yes, the black woman can't
What
read.
the hell kind of a design for a character? Like, what's the point of this? Bashful, fast, shoe collection. Like, this is designed by a retarded woman. That, like, I want a character who has a really nice shoe collection, but she can't read.
Whoa, you can't use the R word.
That is what
man.
Rebecca Sugar is. She's a hack.
This is something a 5-year-old maybe might come up with and draw.
Dude, a 5-year-old could drive better than that.
I'll give the 5-year-old some, lack of art skills.
I've been telling this for ages at this point, for years. These people have never mentally grown past the single-digit age.
I mean, this looks like something
they're
from...
in their 20s, they're in their 30s, but mentally they are still
This is like
single-digit.
something from watching an early Disney animation
How did they get through in life, though?
from the 30s or I don't know, however old those things
By
are.
living in a first world country
don't
that
know.
allows them to.
Like, this is
By handouts from,
That's a good point,
from
yeah.
their parents.
This is borderline because of the Steven Universe art style. This is borderline racist, I would say.
Holy shit, dude! I just want to blow my.
If
brains
she
out.
had Mickey Mouse gloves on, I'd be like, okay, that's enough for me. That's too much. All
We're
right,
34, guys. Let's do it. No, I'm just joking.
all right.
No.
Let's get back to this. We're gonna be here for a while.
Oh, I've been as I've looked this up.
And
There
the
were
diamonds, pink, white, yellow, and blue.
ones.
It is by design simplistic on its surface, but over time our heroes
Oh god.
That's simplistic. Okay.
There's,
Oh yeah, the race changed Yvonne or whatever her name is throughout the series. It was really weird.
all right, here is Ron Harushin. He means Fry from Futurama. Oh. See, that makes way more sense. Oh my
That's
god.
the robot, right?
We have other people explaining Mike Testa in chat. This is how this works. Oh. Okay. Here's Joe Crazy. Skeletor. I set up the death camps. He chump.
Yeah.
How could a skeleton be that chunky anyway?
Oh.
Bro,
It
he never
always
skips
confused me
leg
about
day.
Skeletor. Like he's a skeleton, right?
He's this
Why does he have
muscular
muscles
man.
like He-Man?
With this,
Because
with,
he never skips leg day.
yeah,
Gets that protein.
Ah,
somehow.
what?
Here's Who the Heck is Steven? Steven Universe, the genocidal, illiterate, mental illness cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just go.
learn what it means to be human, and Steven learns about his past, his powers, and his emotions. He also learns not to judge anything at first glance. He sees that most of his enemies don't need to be fought, they need to be talked to. Which is good because some pretty messed up stuff happens to Steven and his friends during the run of the show. Which brings us to all the body horror. Body horror is a genre that showcases grotesque violations of,
Why is
well,
that
the
in
body.
a
It preys upon our
supposed
own
kid
fear of
show?
sickness and death, of our bodies rebelling against, well, themselves. For example, in the
Jesus.
episode Cat
Yeah, but
Fingers,
that's
Steven
Gumball.
discovers he can turn his finger.
Look, a Gumball is not for 8-year-olds. Gumball is for a teenage audience. I have no idea what Steven Universe is supposed to be the target audience. It looks like it's for 8-year-olds. The content is like 20-something people who didn't grow up. I don't get it.
And they can't figure out which bathroom to use
Look,
based
yeah.
on the gender baseline.
Oh. Well,
His
anyway,
fingers into cute little
this is pretty terrifying, but it's not Steven Universe, so.
cats. What seems like a fun, goofy.
Oh, it is
plot
Steven
line,
Universe.
Steven can't stop.
Yeah,
changing
what-
his potty
what
into
did you
little
mean?
cats. He eventually
I thought he was showing us another show. Okay, forget it then. Oh, Jesus.
No,
Yeah,
couldn't you
yeah.
tell how fly it was?
This is terrifying.
Yeah, let me tell you, there's a whole plot line
Who the-
where some of there were warring factions of gems against each other because they were the wrong gems or something, and they made experiments to create useful thralls as armies, for which they used fragments of gems that they fused together in order to then make their Frankenstein gem things that they could mind control or something, which all went horribly
For
wrong.
what?
So you have a dungeon at the core of the earth that is full of limp Shoggoth monsters that are
boy.
fragments of gems. And when
Wait.
gems are weirdly acting up, like Steven is doing here, then shit happens.
Wait, but what? Who created them and why?
There were some faction of gems created them in order to have a more useful army. Like when they destroy other gems, the gems shatter, and then they use the fragments of those to fuse together with others in like forbidden fusion, and so you get when they then manifest into humanoid things, they can't properly for some reason, and it's just an assortment of limbs and body parts like a Shoggoth.
All right, this is terrifying, but let's just keep going. This is
It's kids show for 8-year-olds.
Yeah.
It's not even creative. Like,
Rolling
it just
massive
looks like they
body
put a
parts
bunch
that is
of
unable
heads
to
on
stop the change. It's genuinely upsetting. Later on in the series, in an episode called Nightmare Hospital, Steven and his friend Connie face gem mutants that are creatures made entirely of random body parts. And in Earthlings, the big bad Jasper becomes corrupted and looks like this, which is gross. For the gems, bodies are just shells, and the show plays with this idea of malleable bodies and what it means
Which,
to have
by
a
the
body.
way, doesn't make sense.
If we as people are even
So here in this episode, we learned that Amethyst is just a soldier that was broken. Like all the Amethysts are essentially clones of each other. They're all the same, but they are coded like boys, and that's why the other Amethysts think this Amethyst here is broken, and well, she is mentally broken, definitely. And what we see in the background, this is all on Earth, by the way, and there's this century-old or millennia-old these landing things that are drills, giant drills. So this whole gem war also happened 1,000 years ago on Earth, and that is not really explored. How humanity dealt with that, or with all these artifacts on the planet. No mention of that.
So wait a second.
Whatever.
How is this? How is this beautiful? This is terrifying.
Yes, it is. It is. It is. It is.
And it's genius, I guess.
I think this is. Maybe it's trying to copy what Adventure Time did with this post-apocalypse world that you slowly unearth that it's actually not a sugar bubblegum happy world full of cake people, but that is just Princess Bubblegum's personal dystopian experiment of a control society, and outside of that is a huge radioactive wasteland. That is because it's a post-Earth apocalypse world in Adventure Time, and you learn that slowly over the seasons. It's slowly uncovered what this is. That this is actually Earth, and you find all the horrors that exist there, all the genetic experiments that happened, the radioactive wastes, mutants, and all of that. Turns out it's not a fantasy adventure land. It's just a horrible world full of science that is indistinguishable from magic, and Steven Universe is just random shit. And where I want to go, but I want to actually go here with this. So yeah, it's all pretty disturbing, and this is this story arc here leads into a oh my god apocalypse thing, because here they discover this mutant thing stuff that is deep beneath the crust of the earth, that also is short of when it goes off it would destroy the earth, and they prevent that from happening. Yada yada.
This is ridiculous. Let's just get through this, because I think not knowing anything about the show and learning about it is like, this is not even serious. I can't take this guy.
Watch
I mean, Adventure Time is also not for young kids. It's at best for older teens.
Yeah.
But Steven Universe just makes no sense for whom it even is, because of throwing these extreme themes into each other.
All right. Here's Delamaticus. Don't forget that fusion is a direct correlation for sex. So when they force the fragments or gems together, it's rape. or
Yes, it
or
is.
grape
Yes.
without the G.
Would you say Cartoon Network's mostly for teenagers, perhaps?
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Because that's what it seems like it leans towards to.
I don't know.
With
I don't know.
Well,
Cartoon,
all of their
Cartoon Network
recent
also
shows.
ran Looney Tunes and all
It
of
depends
that. So
because
I don't know.
sometimes the comedy channel also had a bunch of made for adult, like Archer when it first came out. There was that submarine cartoon. It was also for adults. So it depends. If you know your demographic, you make content for that channel. We have a youth television network, or YTV, which is specifically for kids. So that I remember. Like they would not put Steven Universe on that rather. If this is what's in it, this is crazy. Like this is ridiculous. I can't even believe we're covering this now that I know what it is.
Oh, I remember what I wanted to explain on this frame is they explained this before. The human bodies that the gems have are just projections from the gems. The actual individual is the gem, like Amethyst here has on her chest.
Really?
That is who she really is. The body is just a projection, and they even said in the beginning of the show that they could project themselves any way they wanted to. And this is completely scrapped later on, because when you do that, it makes no sense that these fragments of gems that are fused together just are able to turn into certain limbs. And it's only ever limbs. Makes no sense.
All right.
What about Garnet though?
This is.
She's two people, right?
Yes.
This is
nothing makes
okay.
sense.
We're dealing with a crazy story. It doesn't matter. Nothing makes sense.
Nothing makes sense. They don't stick to their own rules.
Yeah, we could say anything. It wouldn't make a difference. This guy thinks it's amazing because
it just changes arbitrarily.
Yeah,
and it's just you can only be amazed by this if you're easily dazzled with lights and colors.
Sure,
Fine by them at all. Which is a pretty sophisticated topic to broach when you're talking about the target audience that, well, the show's aimed at. The thing about the crystal gems is that they confuse other
What
gems
is their
and become
target
entirely
audience?
new beings. And Steven Universe bodies are just shells that the gems happen to currently reside in. We eventually discover that Garnet
he
isn't
doesn't
just
explain it. That's
Garnet.
nice.
She's the result of a fusion of two different gems, Ruby and Sapphire. And those previously fused gems can fuse with other gems and become
They look like
kaiju-esque titans. One of the many joys of watching Steven Universe is seeing the different combinations of characters fusing and becoming new beings altogether. And Steven Universe truly explores this. As Garnet says in one episode, bodies are an illusion. It's an embodiment of that simplistic idea and fun finding true meaning. Take Tiger Billionaire. Steven discovers that Amethyst has been posing as a wrestler, a male wrestler. Steven doesn't stop and say, oh, but you're a girl, like a show, well, may traditionally do. It's just accepted that Amethyst can reside in whatever body she wants for whatever reason.
Wait, why would a kid ask that though? He's a kid, right?
Yeah, but even then, that doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. Like, why do the fragments turn into limb monsters?
Right. I don't know why anybody would even ask questions. It's like, yeah, there's crazy shit that happens in this universe, apparently. I don't care.
And since Steven has been
How's
almost
that genius?
exclusively been around the free gems,
oh yeah,
he would be completely familiar with them changing shape whatever they wanted at random times. Like this wouldn't be the first time. This has been probably explained to him years ago.
What point is he trying to make?
When he says when the maker of this video says traditionally made, he means the gender binary. With the harmful stereotypes of boys and girls, and his completely wrong assumption that boys are only allowed this and girls are only allowed this in any series. Like, dude, watch Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget cries. And his daughter is the actual smart one. That's a strong female character.
All right. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I just love that he said the target audience, but he doesn't explain what the target audience is.
I want to know what the target audience is. Please tell me.
What's the demographic, please.
Reason she wants. Steve and his best friend Connie merge and become the non-binary character Stevani. Does anyone ever stop and say, look at these two people in one body. One's a boy and one's a girl. There are rules. Steven Universe isn't concerned with any societal conceptions of...
Yeah, you see, this is the point. This is magic. There is no real non-binary thing. This is a made-up delusion of a cartoon with magical gem aliens that can fuse with biological beings and create weird copies and mergers. And then the question is, if this is a gem power, why does the final product of this fusion, that is totally not sexual, end up looking like this and not anything else? If the gems are in complete control of what they want to look like, why does it end up a certain way? Why do all the amethysts look all the same? Why do all the pearls look all the same?
Wait, why does Steven and that girl have to even fuse? What are they fusing for? I don't get it.
Because they're so happy. They're so happy and it just happened. You know,
so they
like it just sometimes you're just so happy to be with your friend that sometimes just the fusion happens.
Yeah, I would love to just be inside my friend right now. Yeah. This is ridiculous.
I think there was the. Have you guys watched the fourth season of Castlevania on Netflix?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Well, well, I won't spoil it, but let's just say there is an experiment where they're going to fuse a male and a female into one body, and it doesn't go very well.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I wonder
Has
why.
that any precedence in prior Castlevania stuff?
I can't think of one. There is the Abomination, but that's more like the Frankenstein monster sort of thing.
Sounds like it's just the obsession of the creator who doesn't really care about Castlevania lore that much, so he changes a lot.
There is a lore reason. There is a lore reason, but it's within the own show's lore, which is fine. So it's interesting, though. I don't know why this is an idea that was brought about, but it works, and it would drive that person or that entity crazy. So, yeah, this is not a good thing, guys. This is not a. When we talk about having a relationship with someone, the idea is not to have a life where you're literally the other person and you're just happily, blissfully going through life and everything's great. You understand each other. You shop together, you live together, everything's perfect. It's like, no, you are independent people living together with your own independent egos, and they are constantly in conflict. The difference is, despite the conflict, you find better pleasure or better pleasant moments to be with them for whatever reason. In case you haven't noticed, old people get really pissed off at each other because they've been doing it for decades. Okay?
There are very few exceptions that still nag at each other in a loving way. I've seen twice in my life. I've seen such couples, and it's just it's just the most wonderful thing to watch ever, because they both smile all the time like 16-year-olds.
Yeah, it's very rare. So there are reasons why you must remain your own person and also respect the behaviors of others. The problem is, over decades, that might wear you down. And
if you become something that seems like one being, where one just becomes the attachment and extension of the other, that's an abusive relationship. That's some codependent bullshit going on, and that is not healthy for neither of the two. And honestly, if assuming something like this in the show could really happen, how do you rest your head in the lap of your loved one? This rather seems like a lonely existence to me.
This is.
It's just because this is also just a conjoined mind.
I want to throw out
the minds are merged in this stage. Like it's really just one person. They can fall apart again, but in this state, this is one mind.
I don't even know what that implies.
I'm just gonna say that Transformers did this much better. Okay, Devastator. They all file-armed one body. Just saying.
All right. Okay. At least that one I could have fun with. It's a fun toy, but what the hell is this?
You wouldn't want to fuse two toys? to get her like this.
You have to buy a toy every time there's a new fusion dance or whatever. And it's like, okay.
How I don't understand how this is supposed to be good for any children that are trying to, as they grow up, are supposed to learn to understand the world.
This is
Because they gotta
antithetical.
fuse together.
Yeah, no, this is not cool.
They gotta be conjoined twins or something.
Any of this, including this non-binary, gender fluid bullshit. That is complete pseudoscience.
This is part of.
I mean, if you put Zodiac stuff in your cartoons, that's less harmful than that.
This is very similar to plot lines in fantasy stories where creatures or people are possessed by other evil entities like abominations or what have you, evil demons in the spirit realm or whatever, and they become.
This is a good possession. This is nice. You want this.
This is a good possession.
You want to be controlled by someone else.
Oh God! Take away all your mental autonomy.
Become one entity.
This is like, you remember that Neelix episode with the Tuvok? Tuvix.
Yes.
Like, that was like, holy crap, this is nuts. Like, this is a crazy plot. It was a stupid plot line. It was a crazy plot line.
But I thought it was when I rewatched Voyager last year. I was surprised that episode is for what it does. For the transporter accident, it was actually well done.
It was well thought out.
And the hard thing about it was that Tuvix was an internally happy character that was helping other people. Other people started to like him because he had the best qualities of both people,
right?
And he was a better cook than Neelix.
And he made the argument that he was a living entity as a result of whatever experiment, whereas Janeway was like, yes, but at the cost of 2 other lives who are essential to this team. And eventually he gave in because he was also part of the team.
Yeah.
So
and the ethical question of that episode, it is one of the moments where it shows that Janeway is a renegade.
Yeah.
Because under Picard, the same thing might have resulted in, he is an entity now, he is his own entity now, and his own conscience. We cannot tell him to undergo the procedure in order to not exist anymore.
Right.
For the sake of 2 other people. We cannot force that upon him. We cannot extort that out of him. But Janeway does.
Right. That's kind of the thing I like about Janeway, is because she's put in this scenario where she has to make a decision. It's not the best decision, but she does it because she thinks it's the best decision for survival where she's going, what they have to do. And that's great. That's what you want from a character. You want them to be their own character, as evil and good and whatever they are. So I like that because it explains their motivations and why things have to happen the way they do. Even if Janeway comes across as a bit, not evil, but just sort of, I'm the law, boom, I say what goes, get the transporter room. So, like, I get that. I like that aspect because the show needed that a lot. And it had
I wouldn't say she's evil. She's ruthless.
She is ruthless, yes, exactly. I like that in Janeway. It doesn't work in some scenarios. It doesn't work because they turn it off and on, and it's stupid that way. Like, keep her the same way, please. Don't change her again and again. So give her that ruthless mentality of like cold-hearted calculus. We need to do this.
Or play with the person Janeway and the Captain Janeway.
Sure.
And have that clash each other.
Because
the captain is a job and a responsibility.
They did the whole...
And that can wear on any person.
They did the whole... She had a relationship she's holding on to with the whole Q nonsense, which was a stupid episode. They had the whole Leonardo da Vinci shit, which was like, what? Like, you like the Hollywood...
That was so pretentious.
That was just dumb.
Leonardo da Vinci, wasn't it?
It was all kinds of nonsense. And you're just like, pick to one thing she is. Pick to another thing she's trying to hold on to. That's it. Don't have this opining for her husband, because that's never brought up once, or her dog, or her love of coffee, or what. Like, give her something.
The coffee thing was a complete accident. But what I liked was the episode where she fell in love with a hologram,
Oh boy.
and then deliberately overrode the protections on the program that was written by Tom Paris originally, and she changed the character that she fell in love with to better fit what type of man she wants him to be. And once she finally did that, she realized she doesn't want him anymore. It was great. And she realized, oh, what I'm actually doing by changing this man, this hologram, is actually wrong. I feel bad now. And then the episode ends or something. It's like,
All right.
man, this woman is a classic woman evil. Wow, that was something.
Anyway, let's keep going. The Mechanist. I hate this show because before it came out, I wrote a race of monsters whose heart was a gem, which was a parasite that combines bodies to make its own. Oh. Okay. I mean, it's not an inherently unique idea. I think we've had this for, heck, even Naruto did this with one of the villains of the that crazy black outfit society with the clouds. What the hell were they called?
I don't know.
It was this puppet master dude, and he had this his whole essence was this canister, which was basically this heart. And he
was that the first thing or the Shippuden?
The first one, yeah.
Okay. Then I don't remember it in the 200 filler episodes.
Oh God, yeah. But anyway, like the idea of an entity living in this essence, like a stone or the mind or the soul or whatever, the spirit being represented by an object that then takes on any other form. That's nothing new.
Was that the thing with the ninja clan that worshipped a meteorite?
I have no idea. I do know there were two. The way they set that up is there was two characters who were old. I think a grandfather and a grandmother, and they were also puppet masters, and they taught this kid how to be a puppet master. And the kid just got so good at it that he ended up transferring his consciousness into this rod or whatever, that he could then take over a puppet and just manipulate it. Akatsuki, thank you. There we go. That was the group. Anyway,
I don't remember. I remember the name Akatsuki, but I don't remember that episode at all.
Oh, that was a great fight scene. I really liked it. Awesome.
Okay, I remember because I once marathoned the whole thing before Shippuden. I watched all the episodes,
Oh my God.
all the fillers, and I tell you, so you have basically Naruto is one season of 26 episodes. And then you have, before the final episode or two, you have 200 fillers that are completely inconsequential. And I remember that I surmised that 2, at best 3, so 2.5 of the fillers were good. It's like 198 bullshit episodes. What the fuck are you doing? When you do filler, at least make it bearable. When you make filler and it's not bearable, don't make so much of it. My God. Yeah.
All right. Here's one more from Mike Testa. Does this please you, Father? Deformed Stephen. Oh God.
That's weird.
All right. Who was it? The Mechanist, right. Legend of Mana also had a race of people who had a gem in their chest, and if you remove that, they died. I don't remember the details. I read Legend of Mana when it came out. It has 5 volumes. It's a quick read. Take on the Secret of Mana thing. I think by the original artist even or creator. I don't remember. It's nice. It's nice. And I love the final the sister of the main character.
It's a big world, or a big universe rather. We only get what we can, but there's so many stories and games I haven't touched, and I wish I could.
Yeah.
So
well, what I liked about the manga, as I said, it's just 5 volumes. At the end of the first manga, there are a few sketches, and there's a sketch of a girl, and the artist writes, when he wasn't sure whether he'd make the main character a boy or a girl, this would have been the girl's design. The girl's design was so good, and got so much positive praise that he included her later on as the sister of the main character.
Show me that photo. I think I know what you're talking about. If you can find it.
I can look up. I can scan you the manga if you want.
Oh yeah. It's okay. Take your time. It's not a big deal. Here is Aron Harushin for another donation. Thank you, sir. The only gems I like are the Gem Knight Yu-Gi-Oh! Archetype that also does fusion. Oh. The kid was named Sasori, who made puppets of his parents. Yes, I do remember it because that's a really great fight scene with not only the grandparents, because they fight the kid as well, but Sakura. And someone in the chat mentioned that that's the one time Sakura is useful. It's like, yes, I remember that. So
Sakura.
Yeah, she gets strong. Because she does training with what's her face, and she becomes like the Hulk. She buffs up, and she's really powerful. So cool stuff. Anyway, let's keep going here because I really want this to be over.
Well, anything we can really look at or look to for conversation. It just kind of walks away and says, who cares? In Steven Universe, these kinds of things, whether it's non-binary characters or gender, it's just another part of this world's tapestry.
Yeah, it's random, creepy body manipulation that no one cares about because it's all magic and no one gives a shit. That's great. What a great story. What?
Yeah, how's this beautiful genius?
I don't get it. That's creeping me out. If it was cutesy and fun and silly and no one really took it seriously, then great. Who cares? It's a fun comedy with magic and people turning into stuff and magical poofs. Ooh, I'm a cat now. Ooh, like that's fine. But this is like, oh my God.
Badass at least.
Well, yeah, I mean, we talk about transformations like Sailor Moon, which are magical and pretty, and it's made to uplift this schoolgirl who's just there. Oh my God, danger, monsters, whatever. And then boom, she's a superhero. That's cool. That's empowering. That's it's cute too because they have the makeup, magical transformation. Like it's this emboldenment of power coming onto their fingernails and apparently they can jump really high and fat, like they're superhuman. And that's empowering. This is just body fusing.
Totally.
And it's creepy.
Yeah.
I'm sure they get abilities and this and that, but it's nothing to embellish. It's nothing to be excited over.
No, I mean, especially with the Steven and the girl character, it was just like really ordinary and sure. So beautiful about it.
I seem to remember Neon Genesis Evangelion when Shinji is caught and he has to go ride the unit. Was it Unit 2 or Unit 3, which was Asuka's?
He has EVA 01. Asuka has EVA 02 and Rei has EVA 00.
Yeah, and he has to think in a certain language or else...
Oh, that's what... no, that was the joke for EVA 02 because Asuka is using that and allegedly that has to be run in German.
Yeah.
And I don't remember whether Asuka was just pulling his leg or anything because Asuka, her voice actress can't speak German.
Yeah, no. There's no way. But
Baumkuchen.
The fact that he tried to say strudel, it was like so funny. It's like, okay, this is...
No, it's Baumkuchen.
So your brain waves have to, like, everything has to be in sync, right? So I like, oh, that's cool. That's a cool idea. So that's neat.
No, it's not strudel. It's what's it called? I don't know what you call this in English. We call it Baumkuchen, which is the joke because it so it's tree cake because it looks like a cake if you cut it up, like a tree.
Yeah, we got that. Or at least I've seen it. I don't know what it's called though.
And I posted the Legend of Mana things from the manga I have.
All right, I'll check it out later. We gotta keep going. Mike Testa. I'll be your new wife. I'm taking you to therapy, son. Oh. Okay. Greg needs lots and lots of shock therapy for Steven. Shock therapy.
Well, with gems, maybe that works.
Maybe.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, that like stones with electrical currents.
What
going
is that
through them,
cake? That looks delicious.
Circuitry.
What is
So
that?
basically hard circuitry compared to the wetware we have in our brains. I don't know.
That's a good looking cake.
Steven doesn't seem to be a biological creature.
What is that cake called? Do you have a name for that? Is that the same thing?
The cake?
Yeah. That's delicious.
It's very dry.
Yeah?
Let me look it up.
Lots of layers. That's a lot of dough there, just in between.
Baumkuchen. Okay. There's two translations for Baumkuchen. Literally, it would be tree cake. Because it looks like the rings of a tree.
Yeah.
The translations I get from dictleo.org are pyramid cake, and the official cooking reference is cylindrical cake built up of horizontal layers. I'm not kidding.
Honestly, I've had a lot of cake. I've never had a cake like that before.
It seems to be a Germanic thing.
That seems like a lot of effort.
There's a series. I pasted the page. This is one of the best translation pages, quickest, and cylindrical cake built up of horizontal layers. The official name.
All right, never mind. Never mind. Sorry about that. I was transfixed by the cake. I love cake. Anyway, let's keep going. Mike Testa, someone meme what I've said this whole episode, Mike. That would. I don't think there's a man on this planet that could properly organize your thoughts into a meme. Mike, Punished Bearserker has tried. He's gotten
Unless they're non-binary.
No, he's done a good job. He's done a very good job with Mike Testa's references, but it's very hard at times for most people. Anyway, one more. We'll keep going. Mechanist. Remove my gem. The creature becomes mortal and risks losing its memories. It also risks the chance of a second one appearing if the gem infests someone. That sounds kind of creepy. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that makes for an interesting setting for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got 2 minutes left of this crap. So let's do it.
It isn't there to call attention to itself. Show creator Rebecca Sugar has said she wanted to make a show tailored to queer youth, where themes of sexuality and attraction and grief could be highlighted.
I really don't think this is.
What is queer youth?
This is not for. This is. I'm sorry. This cannot be for queer youth. It's too weird. It's too bizarre. I mean, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures is fun and crazy. This is just retarded.
Yeah, totally.
It's just I can only see this appealing to not queer kids, so and that would be teenagers, because there's no such thing as prepubescent gays, bisexuals, or trans people. That isn't a thing. And even with gender dysphoria type 1, you would not. Well, you would not diagnose that, and you would not indulge that because you don't know whether it goes away. Point being is that
that's why I was
the only
what queer youth would be. What age does that would begin?
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah. So it teenagers? I don't know. But even then, this is not helping kids figure anything out because it's full of pseudoscience bullshit. What this is appealing to the type of people, from what I can tell and personally have seen in real life, is crazy people who have magical thinking, who lack rationality, who are easily dazzled by colors, and never grew up. Mentally never grew up. That is the people this appeals to. And yes, some of those have weird sexualities and a lot of weird fetishes, and they usually have what do you call this? Binding issues, bonding issues. I think is the English term, where they can't form actual emotional bonds, but they have a lot of sexual partners, but they're unable to form actual bonds, and yeah, it's just sad. If you really think about it, I mean, and many of these people wreak havoc on the minds of their surrounding people in their circles of friends or whatever. But at the same time, I can say, yeah, I think it is sad that there are people who are mentally unable to form true emotional bonds with any one other person. That's why they're all obsessed with sex, because they think they mistake that for relationships. It's a relationship where your value of the other and your bonding with the other is based on sex or on material resources. That's not a real relationship. I'm sorry. That's just fucking around. But that seems to be what these shows appeal to. The types of people these shows appeal to. And that's why these people see, like the people we covered on Smudcast, many of them see two characters being good friends with each other. So they must be in a sexual relationship. They must have the hots for each other. Doesn't matter whether it's two men, two women, two children even. It always must be something sexual. It's because they only understand sexuality as relationship.
All right.
Nothing else.
Here's Mike Test again. Make that horrifying Stephen Connie fusion, please. He's referring to the memers. You guys want to make whatever Mike is referring to. The horrifying Stephen Connie fusion. Go right ahead.
There's even close-ups where you see the stubble on that Devonni thing.
God.
Why?
Anyway.
Who would want to be like that?
Here's Roan Harushan again for the donation. Thank you, Roan. Sexuality, huh? I heard she walked that back in the case of fusion being a reference for sex when she started getting heat for it and the possible grape imagery. Not to mention that time Stephen fused with his dad. Yeah, I've heard that many times.
What?
Oh, I'm glad I didn't watch that far.
Yeah.
She walked that back. You can't walk that back. You have the scenes in the fucking show that imply heavily that this is sex.
Let's not dwell, please. Let's just keep going.
You can't walk back on that. I'm sorry.
Stuff.
You made it. You put it into the
So
show
does that
the way
mean
you
the
did.
dad and the mom and the son are all warped in together to become a weird fusion?
Yes.
I don't want to think about it. Let's just go.
On the Princess of Power creator Noelle Stevenson told DW, there's been an idea of cartoons are for kids, and they're either aimed at kids in this very optimistic but simplistic way, or they're aimed at adults, who then bring in a more of this fanboy, fangirl crowd. She explains what she loved about Steven Universe was that it was able to solidify both things. It delved into complicated themes while never losing the optimism. This open, accepting, beautiful world culminates in the season 5 episode Reunited, where Garnet and Ruby get married. Despite Cartoon Network's history of, quote, not overtly depicting these kinds of marriages, the episode managed to not only be the first episode of children's television to ever feature a gay wedding, but they also managed to squeeze in a fight scene.
Okay, how is it a gay? Okay, this is a problem I have with stuff.
Oh boy,
what is happening here?
Every time I click on the screen instead of the button, it just pauses for a frame and then continues.
That's just the nature of the website, unfortunately.
Okay. Where was it? The whole I want to know, how is that even a gay wedding? Aren't the gems supposed to be sexless?
If you're saying they have no physical form,
are we doing this? One is as they say coded male and one is coded female, which is just stereotyping. It's their word for stereotyping. But how is it then a gay wedding?
I don't know.
Like nothing that these people say makes sense. Not even in their own creations.
Do these aliens have weddings? Like, do they have a ritual, or is it a human?
I don't
ritual?
know, but even then, the gems do not have sexes.
It's projection. Okay, let's just say it's so weird. You have to project the meaning onto these things. And these guys think it's homosexual weddings because
I know, but it's like, oh, it's a gay wedding in a kids show. It's like, why does that matter?
Yeah, why would it be a gay wedding in the first place? It makes no sense.
Look, I'm sorry, but kids don't give a shit.
That on top, yes, they see two characters who love each other.
Oh my god, that's awesome! Yeah, it's just the grown-ups that are so obsessed with their own identity that they clap for that shit. I don't know.
It's the woke church that is applauding seeing a reflection of their propaganda, and they jack off to that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, minute and a bit left.
It's like imagine some hyper-conservative Christian seeing a hyper-conservative Christian cartoon about Jesus. Like, oh, this is so amazing. Oh, we need to show this to all the children. Oh.
Jesus is the white male.
Yeah, whatever, but it's the same for these people. That's the same vibe. Oh, it's a reflection of my dogmatic belief. Everybody must see this. Everybody must love this. So let's make it in a way that kids will love it.
Okay.
It's just disgusting.
Yeah.
In the epilogue series, Steven Universe Future, Steven learns that he ultimately has to use his powers on himself. That, as creator Sugar says, you really have to care about yourself in order to care about the people around you. Steven Universe is special.
Oh, that's why you're all
because
mentally
it's a show
ill.
that finds something special
And
in
don't see
everything it talks
therapists.
about and everyone it puts within its screens. And if you apply the same level of passion in your work or your writing or whatever it is to your characters, ideally that passion jumps off of them as well. And Steven Universe is the perfect example of people who cared creating people who care. And that's a good lesson for any artist in general.
There are many reasons to fuse.
Yeah, but what's the best reason to fuse?
That's easy. The best reason is
Love.
Ah.
Well, guys, that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed this video, press the like button. If you haven't yet done so, also hit subscribe. If you look down in the description, you can see all the credits for this video, the writer, the editor, and of course me, the voice. And hopefully I will see you guys in the next video.
Did we get a clear or good explanation of who the target audience is?
How is this
No.
How is this beautiful genius? He didn't say anything about things being beautiful or things being genius.
Yes.
Yeah. Was he saying that in an objective manner, or was that his subjective
I hate
opinion?
these titles. These are retarded.
All he was laudering.
I like this
Is that
show.
a right
It does
word?
stuff. It's like that doesn't make it good. It doesn't make it beautiful.
Yeah, it just says it does things I like and politics that I like, ideology that I like. That's why it's great. That's why I made a Christian comparison.
It's
Like
that's
a
great for you.
fundamentalist-
I'm happy that you found a show that you can jerk off to, but like,
Yeah, fundamentalist
know,
Christian
have
will love
a-
chick tracts. This is a chick tract essentially.
Anyway, I gotta get a drink or I don't know something. It's just let's go to stream memes, folks. Oh
Yay.
no!
let's get to the good part.
What did you do, Hawk? What is this?
Hawk?
Waving
Why wasn't he
goodbye to your friend Steven. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Thanks, Hawk.
Say hi.
Fantastic.
Have you tried
Have
talking?
you tried talking? Oh Jesus!
Talking, that's a neat trick.
Don't run. We just want to talk. Yeah, sure. Oh no. No, don't kill him. He's too dangerous to be kept alive. Anakin, have you tried asking him about his problems?
Look at Mace Windu. He's got a purple lightsaber.
He just killed 3 Jedi, Anakin. I think we're beyond conversation here.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to your enemies, but silence all opposition. That's great. I love it.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
that's scarily real. Scarily.
Welcome to Canada. Mojo waiting patiently for Wisp to finish. Mojo.
I loved Mojo Jojo.
Mojo's a good guy.
Mojo Jojo. He's
Or a good
awesome.
monkey.
He's a good
I
monkey.
was a bit lost on that rant of Wisp. So
I'm sorry. I posted a scene that explains things maybe later.
I think the gaming side of you got a bit better of that moment. I was like, what the hell?
I'm sorry. It's a complicated game. It's
At least that made more
complicated.
It's
sense
one of those
than
games you just
what
can't
that guy
stop
was
thinking
talking
about.
about.
Just gonna keep. He's gonna hound you the
It's
day you
com-
die, Wisp. Wisp, you're gonna be an 80-year-old
It's complicated.
person, and you're gonna be Man, I wish I had played Xeno Chronicles back in the day more. Xenoblade. What does it mean? I don't
Still haven't
understand.
100%ed it.
Oh, I bet you have. Yeah, I know. When you have to shoot. Don't talk.
Totally.
Of course,
Based.
it's another Hawk reference. Here's Inquisitor Mateus, worse than Hitler. He looks like a Marvel beat 'em up character with that those legs and those feet, those boots, whatever you want to call
Are
them.
you saying he's non-binary?
I'm saying he looks like he's probably part of a beat 'em up Capcom game.
Ah, yeah.
Here
That'd be
is
great. Transformers versus Capcom.
there we go. There's the classic Starscream scenario.
Starscream, you idiot!
Worse than Hitler. Rainbow Hawk is worse than Hitler. Can't be that bad.
Oh, the gay Hawk.
The
Yeah. Hawk be simping for Arthur.
the British rainbow flag Hawk. Okay. Cancer.
Come here, boy. Cancer. Oh, God. What episode was that from? Can't remember.
I don't want to rant about it. Prepares 4-hour rants. Thing is, you don't know what the rant's going to be.
Oh, did I say that?
I have
That's
no
funny.
idea.
I think I was talking about the Loki show because the stupid jazz show.
SpongeBob not crying?
You
Oh.
think I prepare any of this? You credit me too much.
He is drinking his own tears. That is fascinating. What is happening?
Manly. Very manly.
It's not pink, it's magenta.
No, that is pink.
That is pink, yeah.
That is pink.
It's not an optical illusion. That
pink,
is
it's
actually
gay.
pink, yeah.
He-Man is gay.
It is
sorry.
almost add a little more pastel and it would be rose.
Yeah. Hey, that reminds me. I want to get a rosé. It's summertime. Anyway, yeah, same meme, only with rainbows. Still pink though.
Yeah. Magenta should be the thing at the top.
Wow. Your ugly jelly bean wears pink. How progressive.
Oh. What is this? That's that music group, the YMCA, right?
Village people.
The village people, yes.
Are they? Would they be considered racist today?
Yes, it would be.
How?
Because someone would complain. And they'd say,
yeah, I guess.
and then they would be forced to perform, and you're just letting them do that because you're being nice. Like, no, they want to perform.
Easy Codes, did you find that or did you make that?
It's okay, guys. He says we're sorry.
Jesus.
That's pretty much the plot.
I like his armband, whatever the hell that is, but holy crap.
He looks like a Dr. Seuss character. Look at the armband. That's great.
That's what I was pointing out. I was like, what is the PlayStation? Is that like the PlayStation logo, or is that just something else with the show?
It's the gems, isn't it?
The gems? Oh, okay. Steven is his own mom. Yeah, I've heard enough loads. Yeah, I checked out.
I think we all wanted to do that.
just, as soon as I heard, I was like, what? Excuse me?
That is literally worse than the grandfather paradox.
That means he's a form, or she, or whatever, is a form of oogenesis, or oogenesis. Which is, if you guys remember your high school genetics and how that works. As opposed to...
I was going to say, does that make Steven a hermaphrodite?
No, it makes him the same thing he came
It makes him a polyp.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Here's Rebecca Sugar. Yeah, she's a gorgeous creature. Fantastic.
Oh, that's a
She reminds me of Maggie Mayfish. Just as a hobbit. If Maggie Mayfish was a hobbit, this is what she'd look like.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair.
I don't mean to be mean, okay, but
that's fair.
Threw me off for a little bit.
Worse than Hitler. Oh, jeez, we're doing this again.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't care because I don't watch the show, so it doesn't bother me. But now that I learn about it, I'm like, this is disgusting. This is stupid and crazy and it makes no sense.
And we've only scratched the surface.
I don't want to know anymore. I'm fine. Here's women pushing daddy issues onto society since forever. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And these aren't even women. These are manifestations of the gem of whatever form they wish to take. So they're retarded.
It could be dinosaurs if they wanted.
They're alien retards. Essentially.
Oh, so they could identify as an attack helicopter. That's lovely.
Yes.
Lovely.
Rebecca Sugar quotes. I love thinking of cartoon characters feeling really real. Okay, let me try this again. I love thinking of cartoon characters feeling really real feelings. Okay.
What the fuck does that mean?
That's a sentence. I don't know. And I love to do that. Not just as a fan, but as a creator. So if people want to look for those levels, they're actually there. Honey.
Is this really what she says?
Does that make any lick of sense?
What feeling really real feeling? What does that mean? Oh God, I'm gonna have a migraine.
Well, if we're talking borderline personality disorder, you actually feel wrong feelings.
You know how I say words that are semantically empty, or they're one of those big generic words that like true or extreme.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Like the word real.
I love that. Not just as a fan, but as a creator.
Like you could have said.
She tries to make a superlative.
She could have said real, human, true, original feelings. You're sitting there going, "Holy shit! What does that mean?"
Yes. Imagine her being 8 years old, and this is her child speak.
See, I could forgive a child because children would speak like that.
She's 33 years old, and she speaks like an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Is she 30 years old? She's
born in 1987.
She's aging slowly. I'll give her that.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's doing with her skin.
Here's our next quote. I find pop art really offensive. Okay, because it's taking a piece of popular culture and putting it somewhere where people can't see it. What?
What does that?
Wait, what does that mean?
Okay,
what?
When you say pop art, I think of like the Campbell Soup pop art, Marilyn Monroe. Like you take something which is famous that everyone knows, putting it in a different context, and making art out of it. By its nature, it is popular. Therefore, you can see it.
Yeah, and art is made to be seen.
There are many.
It hangs in a museum on a wall for people pay money to see it.
There are many kinds of art that I've never heard of, that are in obscure parts of the city, that are local, and unless I go downtown, which I can't because we're still in lockdown, to go to these art galleries, I'll never know they exist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're slowly opening up next week, but it's not complete, so I can't go everywhere.
And next week they'll say next week, and the week on that they say next week, and the week of that they'll say next week.
So
wake up, people!
When you're talking about pop art, that's the opposite of what I just talked about. Pop art is popular; it is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like what was that? I remember that stupid magazine shot of Kardashian's ass, the cover of some. I don't even know.
Oh God! Like, why, Smudge?
Everyone saw that, right? I didn't want to see it. It was there.
How'd you know about it if you didn't see it?
Press X to doubt. I've never heard of it.
Thank you,
I live under a rock.
Yeah, I was a really I was a really big fan of cartoons growing up. Okay, so was I.
I live under a rock in a cave on Mars,
and I love to read too much into them most of the time. Holy crap!
Can I move in with you?
You're still doing that. She's reading too much into her own cartoon.
Most of the time.
How is that a good quote for a creator of cartoons? That's a horrible quote.
I don't think the site is about good quotes. It's just about interesting quotes.
I think Mike Testa makes more sense than her. This is just. What is this?
I like using different lenses to interpret art that aren't there. Like, for meaning that isn't there. Thanks, Rebecca. That's great.
Most of the time.
You're a deluded person. That's great.
Oh boy. Oh God.
That literally, she literally admits to making headcanon.
Yeah. Making stuff up. Fantastic. I'm really inspired by the show Future Boy Conan from the 70s. All right. it's a really beautiful show, and I love shonen anime and shoujo anime, and I like the thought of mixing them together. Okay, I mean that's not unheard of, but
Sure.
depending in what context that could be counter functional, meaning it doesn't work because you have a show for girls, you have a show for boys, and whatever elements of those shows come together will not connect to the audience because the audience is like, I don't want to watch magical girl shoujo. It's stupid. I want to watch robot anime, which is shonen. So you can't. So you have to somehow find a magical girl mecha anime and have that. I'm sure it's.
I
out
know
there.
one.
Yeah, see, it does work. It does happen, but you have to know how the genre works. You can't just imagine.
Okay, watch Slayer's Great.
Slayers, I know.
It has magic girl in a way with giant mecha.
All right.
And they fight, and it's awesome.
And giant anime.
And it's a family drama.
Oh my god. We have so many
In a
tropes.
fantasy world.
This is gonna take a while. Okay.
Fantasy world, magic girl,
Holy crap.
mecha
really had a blast
fight
of this.
with family drama
Next
in
year.
one movie.
Next Steven Universe character. That's cool.
Man,
Jeez. The main character
memes
fights
are great.
with the rival, beats him, and they somehow become friends. The new rival appears. He fights, wins again, and makes another friend. Repeating that endlessly is the jump system, but Steven Universe is special for understanding his enemies. And the silhouettes are essentially Dragon Ball. So.
Yes, that's Vegeta,
Oh, yeah.
Piccolo.
Yeah,
Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, I wish that would happen. Please.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, but it's so ridiculous.
1,000 yard stare, a little quirky, right? Yeah, that's great. Fusion is great.
I don't get what his character's supposed to look like. Is he supposed to be sunburned?
Yeah, it's a sunburn somehow, and it's
So-
eternal. It never changes. Although
Okay.
he wears a shirt where he never wears a shirt like that.
So
I
remember
don't remember.
when
It.
I
He
said
only
we
ever
had-
wears a shirt where you see the sunburn.
Remember when I said we had a famous hip hop artist? Well, this is Drake. This is where the meme comes from. So, yay, Drake, Canadian. Woohoo. Yeah.
Drake.
So,
Drake's Canadian?
oh yeah. He has a mansion in the Bridle Path, which is a very affluential street in Toronto. Anyway,
You been there?
I have gone down the street a few times in a car. Yes.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, you can just go down it. Yeah, it's great. All these big houses. Also, because there was a
Nice.
very famous murder there that happened a few years back, and
What the?
yeah, very.
Yikes.
And I like murders. Just
Stay
because-
safe.
Yeah. Anyway, great meme.
Just saying.
Good lord, yeah. Kind of scary. Beautiful genius, my friends. Look at that. Beautiful.
Whatever is wrong with her mouth. SJWs love to draw this weird mutated mouth.
Yeah, who knows?
It looks like some ungodly bodily orifice that doesn't exist.
Fantastic. This should have been the show every episode. Every single episode. She is the law. She puts her fist down like an iron gauntlet. That's that. I am getting you sons of bitches home if I have to kill every last one of you.
Yeah, and the crew may then have ethical problems with that because Starfleet.
Yeah.
Like, dude, what's our captain doing?
I'm in charge.
This is not Starfleet.
Shut
conduct.
up. Sit down and shut up. Or I'll phase you into the brig.
I'll disintegrate you so that that there will not even be a body to cremate.
Yeah, we'll use
And
you.
I find it's one of the scariest things in Star Trek, to be honest.
We'll use you for replicator rations. That's how it works. All right. Queer, adjective, strange, odd, and offensive, homosexual of a person. Oh, God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Here is rule 34. You are already porn. Okay. I mean,
Oh God.
That's kind of creepy,
I
but
can't. Oh no, I don't want to see that.
I don't want to know about that.
Yeah, no.
I know.
And
No.
the fan community of this show is one of the worst that
Oh,
you
I
can
can't
imagine.
imagine. They probably get real naughty with
They
it. But...
threatened one of the creators of the show to quit. They drove that one into suicide, I believe.
Wait, why?
Because she, because she drew Rose Quartz, the mother of Steven, as not fat.
Not fat?
Yeah. Because the fan canon was that Rose was fat.
This is ridiculous. What? Oh my God.
Anyway, yeah, creepy, weird.
Oh,
why does she have a jewel on her belly button?
That's just Steven. Steven has. That's where he has his
Oh, it's
gem.
Steven? Okay, fine.
That's where Steven has his gem.
Yeah, that's where you.
The queer youth. What the hell?
Lick it, I guess.
What is this?
I don't know.
Which show is this?
Bunch of weird girls.
It's probably Degrassi,
I have no idea.
dumb TV show.
If fusion is a metaphor for sex, then does that mean, Steven, hey dad, let's fuse? Greg, okay.
Oh, this is where they fuse? Oh my God.
Ugh.
Wait, so did they actually gyrate their hips and all that?
I don't know what happened in this scene. Maybe they just mashed together. I don't know. I haven't seen that, and I don't want to. I don't want to.
They're trying to justify. I'm just joking. I'm not gonna say that.
I am the law.
I am the law.
Anson Kim, get back to your station.
Oh, it reminds me of something. No, I have to rewatch it. I'm too tired. I'm sorry. Next time, Die Hard next time. I'm having Die Hard.
Oh, Die Hard, right.
Yeah, I watched Die Hard 2 today.
Dad, I'm mom.
Tomorrow's number 3. I don't want to know when they turn bad. Maybe they don't. I don't know. Don't spoil.
Well,
otherwise, I would never have gone through the horror that is Highlander 5.
Oh, God. Don't even talk about that series. Okay. Well, this meme is, a thing.
I can tell you, though, when it gets bad. If you want.
Trying to understand Mike Testa Superchats. There's Bear. He's like, I can't do that.
It's more like the Rebecca Sugar.
Well, no. That's just stupid. It's crazy. This is Mike and his Pink Mike.
It's profound, though. If you really think about
This is... What the hell? What the hell is this?
Wait. What?
I'm not sure what this is.
Talking about Realm? Garnet beats,
When I see Hawk's memes, pathetic. Here is the famed attack helicopter.
Yes! That's what I want to be. I want to be an attack helicopter.
The only thing this made me think of was the scene in Persona 5 where Mona turns into a helicopter because she can, or it.
No way, really?
Well, it's a metaverse creature. So in the real world, she can change. No, in the metaverse world, she could change into other shapes, like a van. And for some reason, somehow she turned into which doesn't make any sense. She turned into a helicopter. Yeah. And here we have.
I want to do that though.
Here we have is that a mortar? What is that? Is that a portable mortar?
I think so.
I can't tell.
If you can take down a helicopter with a mortar, you're good.
That's amazing. It looks more like an RPG. I can't be sure.
That would never happen to me. I can maneuver around motors.
Anyway.
That was a retarded video. I'm sorry, but it just was.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, great. We got more stuff from Mike Testa.
Superchats.
Why? Stop it. I need a drink. What is going on here?
No.
Okay. Ron Harush. Here we go. I think I just puked in my mouth. Love, really? Where is Truck Coon when you need him? Where is Truck Coon when you need him? Okay. Yeah. Francis Bordacopola. The only good things to come out of Steven Universe is ER's review and the meme of Omni-Man crushing Steven Universe's head.
Yes, watch ER's review.
Ops.
Do
Yeah.
it. Do it.
All right. Here we go. Mike Testa. Oh, so she's a Looney Tune. I'll call the Whitecoats. She'll be going away for a long. Oops, looks like someone cut phone. Welp, I'm out of ideas. Mike, what is? Are you having a?
Mike, that joke probably worked really well in your head.
Yeah. Mike, sometimes you hit. Sometimes I'm just confused. Who the heck is Steve? Thanks for the donation. Sunburned Drake. Yeah, that's the guy.
Sunburned Drake.
Mike Test again. They reference the Enigma Fault Junji Ito tale. Oh, really? Okay. Junji Ito is awesome. Scary as hell, but yeah, okay. Who the heck is Steve again? Steven Universe need exterminatus. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how the alien horde would fare against the what's it called, the not the army of man, the what's the word,
Imperium of
the
Man.
Imperium, there you go, the Imperium of Man.
Yeah, but the Exterminatus is also a soul destroying, insanity driving weapon. It's not just big boom.
Yeah.
That lays fiery waste to a planet. It does worse than that. So it might work.
Here's Mike Test again. Like father, like son, Steven, stroke the guitar hard. All right.
Oh boy.
Here's Ron Harushan. It was Garnet beating up the Yu-Gi-Oh card Garnet. 'Twas horrible. Oh. Okay, I think I know what you're referring to. There was a meme there. Mike Testa. Am I the only one shocked at how she looks like a walking caricature of a Jewish woman? Just me? Like, geez? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
A Jewish woman. I don't know. I've seen some pretty attractive Jewish women, so I'd have to say no. All right, the
They
last
exist?
one.
Just
Oh,
joking.
Here's Trash Mango. Thank you for that, Trash. Smud, what are you on about? Morgana's a guy for one thing, and for another, he turns into a van, not a helicopter. He does turn into a helicopter. He does, or it does. He does turn into a van as well as a helicopter. So
Morgana, the cat, or
yeah, the cat. The cat turns in. Well,
wait.
In the metaverse, there's a few levels or a few whatever you call those. I can't remember the names. Whatever you call those levels. You need a van, and she turns into a van. And off they go. In one of the last ones, she turns to a helicopter because they can't escape the roof of the building, so they take off in Morgana, which makes no sense.
Oh, okay.
Because it's the metaverse. I'll give it that leeway, but still, it's pretty crazy.
I mean, I don't know. My brother loves that game, and I can't follow it sometimes.
Just ask him. Yeah, it happens. And if it's not in the game, I definitely saw it in the animation. So.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Anyway, that was for 8 minutes. That was pretty long, but holy crap!
A lot of people loved it.
What a horrible, horrible show. From what I know of it now.
Absolutely.
Yep. You're now glad you didn't know anything about it.
I am glad I'm never going to watch it.
Thank you for ruining my childhood that I never had.
As a palate cleanser, maybe show the two pictures I made of the Legend of Mana manga.
Yeah,
it's just nice, and it's a nice little series.
Yeah,
I think
It's just
the cake is really like that's a beautiful, like that takes effort to make those number of layers and to put the cream inside and do the glaze. Like that's at least a 10.
Oh no, there's no cream. There's no cream.
Well, there's
Baumkuchen
something.
has no cream.
There's something in
Baumkuchen
between.
is dry as fuck.
Oh really?
It's drier than sand cake.
Oh, so it's all crispy.
It's called tree cake for a reason.
Oh, so it's actually crispy.
It's like you're eating. It's
bark.
like you are eating bark.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
wow.
It will suck all moisture out of your mouth.
Oh, great. So I could have a liqueur
Oh God,
or schnapps or something. That'd be great.
is it good? I mean,
I don't know why people like it.
I can't imagine.
I will try any cake out there. I love cake. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. That was fun.
You showed a cake, but not a manga. Like, oh God.
Yeah. Cake is all I need. Cake makes me happy.
Yeah, but think of the audience. They had to watch Steven Universe for 3 hours.
You want to see a cover?
They voted for it.
There's a cover of Legend of Mana. There's the sister character. Okay, happy. This is like the only thing that I would be interested in. Everyone's like, what the hell is that? I don't know.
I went out of my way to get it from my bookshelf and make a photograph.
All right, there is a very unique, specific, unheard of Legend of Mana manga that Wisp reads. And if you don't know, Legend of Mana is based off the Secret of Mana SNES game back in the day. There's a whole franchise, and it's kind of thrown to the wayside. It's kind of forgotten about, but some of us still love it.
Technically, the world has a consistent story, but you do not really notice that in the games.
Yeah.
Is that your picture, or did you find out off the internet?
No, I just photographed my manga.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys. Well,
because I couldn't find it online. I need pictures of the games,
a shot of something, and some ice cream just to make sure I'm good. So, holy crap!
I'm trying to get a pizza.
That's a great idea.
Oh my God!
Anything to remind yourself you are a breathing human and need homeostasis to maintain metabolism. I think it's very important right now.
Yeah.
So keep cool, folks. Keep the suggestions coming, and we'll get back to you hopefully tomorrow. Sometimes we have some glitches. I can't find anyone to watch videos with because the videos are really bad. But you know what? It's all random. We never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So keep the suggestions coming. The mods will get to it eventually. And thank you for all your ideas, super chats, your jokes, and of course Mike Testa for being Mike Testa. Ron Harushin, crazy donations, but I always appreciate it. Have yourself a great evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye now.